And if there is anything that I ask you that you don't want to answer, that's totally fine.
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate you doing this, so I don't want to make you uncomfortable, and I don't want to, do
Oh
anything
yeah.
that's out of bounds. And if we do anything, that we talk about that later on you decide you don't want on, I can cut, anything out. I'm not gonna have like any weird stuff out there that makes you uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
No, no, no. It's good. Like you said, like this is like what like a casual thing. So it's just like I'm not expecting you to be like where were you on September 1977 when so and so died? I know it was you. I know you fucking killed them.
Well, 1977, you probably weren't born yet.
Yeah, but where was I though? Where was I?
Yeah, you want to get started?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let's begin. Everybody, this is Eternal Echoes, episode 2. I have a great guest here. I met him through a class that I've been taking online. He's an artist. He seems like a really cool dude. I actually don't know him all that well, which is part of the reason why I wanted to get him on the air and kind of get a feel for this guy, because he just seems like a really interesting character. Let's start with your
Oh
name,
yeah.
buddy.
My name is Ken Forman.
Ken
And I've
Forman.
got one of those last names that's spelled wrong, so it's Forman.
So is that different spelling than like the Foreman grill?
Yeah, yeah. The name is actually Foreman, but my family decided to be illiterate.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. This is America, and we can be illiterate if we want to.
Yeah.
It's like that. Kind of reminds me. I guess it's not illiterate, but there was a guy in our class who mentioned, he's like a younger guy, and he said that he had to explain to his 21-year-old friend what a period is.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with him the day prior, and he was talking about that, and yeah, he was wanting to explain what Red Wings were, and he got the explanation of it wrong. He thought it was drinking blood when a girl's on her period.
Did you say Red Wings?
Yeah, yeah, that's
What
yeah.
are Red Wings? I thought that was the hockey team, right?
I know, right? It's how what type of podcast is this? How appropriate?
No, you can say whatever you want, man. You can get dirty. You can cut.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all good.
oh, okay. Red Wings is just when you go down on a girl on her period.
All right. Can't
Yeah, that's
pleasure, but
yeah, that kid, I'm not gonna say his name. That kid, he thought Red Wings was drinking the blood on the period.
I mean it's pretty close.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, so he was trying to explain that he thought it was a funny story, but he also gave like the person wrong information, and
Right.
then he tried telling the story in class, and I was like, oh, okay, okay. At least he didn't bring up the blood drinking part. At least he didn't bring up the blood drinking part.
Yeah. I mean, as funny as the whole thing is, I mean, at the end of the day, someone dropped the ball. No one explained it to this kid. I don't know how he went 21 years without, maybe his parents didn't let him take sex ed or whatever. Um, Crazy.
Well, I can say there was an interview with this blonde girl who lived in Japan growing up, and she would use vanilla perfume. And then one day, like, she said she ran out of perfume, and her Japanese classmates said, "Wait, you wear perfume?" And she said, "Yeah, of course." And then they said, "Oh, we just thought all white girls smelled like vanilla."
All white girls, you said, smell like?
Oh, yeah, yeah. The Japanese people thought just white girls smell like vanilla just naturally. That just because she was white.
Huh. I wonder.
So a lot of people just go by guesses.
I wonder if there's
Some
any truth to that, because humans do kind of put out a scent, and maybe it smells like vanilla to some people.
you mean Sex Panther? 67% of the time, it works all the time.
That's great, man. So, Ken, where are you from, man?
I'm from Wyoming.
Oh, well, I know that you live in Wyoming now, so you're back in your hometown.
Yeah, yeah. I moved back when I got out of the army, just because like It's a beautiful area. It's super safe, and you can save money here. Like the
Right.
cost of living is the cost of living here in Wyoming is 40K a year,
Right.
but which is better than most places. Like if you go down like live in like Texas or California, cost of living is like 75 to 80K just so that you can break even.
Oh, dude.
So
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's bad, but especially West Coast, like you're saying, like California. It's insane. I was seeing a thing today where gas out in California is like over $5 a gallon in Southern Cal.
woo, woo.
Yeah, pretty
It's like
crazy.
280 right now, and switches from like 280 to like 310 for the last couple of weeks.
I think that's well below the average because I was looking at the comments and the average seemed to be about 350. I'm in Virginia and it's about 350 here as well. So you're doing good.
Yeah,
I don't know how y'all
yeah.
get cheap gas up there though, because you would think it would cost more to pipe it in or to.
Wyoming produces its own fuel.
Interesting. So y'all have wells like oil?
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, let me double check. Google it because I do know Wyoming is one of the number one fuel sources for America. So a lot of energy sources that America uses come from Wyoming.
Interesting. Do you like it out there?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I live in northern Wyoming, so it's right next to like the Yellowstone. So it's
Oh,
all just forests and mountains and everything.
sounds beautiful.
Uh,
I've always wanted to go out that way, like Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, especially South Dakota. I think it's South or North Dakota that has the Badlands out there. I've seen some really cool pictures of that, and it's just a place I've always wanted to go out and visit.
yeah. Oh, okay. So real quick, so Wyoming oil and gas reserves as of 2021, Wyoming had an estimated of 15,000 billion cubic feet of proven reserves of dry natural gas, or 2.5% of total U.S. reserves.
You said 2.5%?
Yeah,
Interesting. I had
yeah.
no idea. I mean, I know that we do like a lot of like fracking and natural gas, and I know Texas has oil fields and stuff, but I'd never heard of oil fields in Wyoming before. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, like 2.5% comes from Wyoming, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's like 15 billion cubic feet.
So, Ken, you got any brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I do. I'm the youngest of three.
Okay. And
Yeah,
your like mom and dad, were they like together the whole time, or do you have like mixed siblings or anything like that, or?
I do. So my brother's 12 years older than me,
Oh wow.
and he's yeah, same mom, different dads. He is like so he's half black, like with yeah, half black, part Native American, and part white. So with
Nice.
me, like I'm part Native American and then majority white.
Is it cool having a brother that much older than you? Like someone that you can like, talk to about stuff, someone with some experience that, maybe likes you a little bit.
No, I haven't talked to him in like 4 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, he's one of those people where I was just like, um, he got into a lot of bad habits, so he just became a bad role model. So like, I just avoid him. And then
Is
with
he
my sister, she's a year older than me, but like just 13 months. She's literally she was born in May, I was born in June, and we were so close apart, close together that like growing up, people just thought we were twins.
Oh, that's cool. Are you tight with
Yeah,
her?
yeah. So I just lie about it and say that yeah, she's my twin, and people believe it because we look close enough.
Coming up, just stay with your mom or your dad.
I stayed with my mom. They divorced while I was like super young, but my dad would live in a city like 8 hours away, and I would live in this city. And then my dad would come up every now and then, and I would just see my dad every now and then, like every couple of weekends. There wasn't a
Yeah.
custody thing. There wasn't anything like that.
Yeah, eight
It was
hours.
just
That's a ways.
yeah, yeah. But then he moved back up to like here. He moved, like he started working in the oil fields and lived in a small town with a population of 80 people.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, that place was just a trailer park with a bar in the center.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds like a place I'd like to visit. Maybe not live.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, a lot of people live there just because like they're ranchers. Like the people who like live there are like the people who want to be there.
So you're like in your early 30s, right?
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
childhood was probably pretty cool. Like a lot of time, like outside, riding bikes, going in the woods, stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. Like kinda. I tried being a skateboarder until I broke my arm going down a half pipe for the first time,
Ugh,
and then I was like, gaming for me.
brutal, brutal.
Yeah, yeah. Did you try skateboarding?
I did. I had all of my friends were really into skateboarding, and so I tried to get into it too. But I just bust my ass so many times that I eventually quit. I mean, after like months of like trying, like I remember I had like an unfinished basement, and I'd go down there and try to do like kick flips, and I never even came close. Or not kick flips, ollie, I guess is where you would start. And I would try to do
Yeah.
that, and I could never really get it to pop. And then I keep falling on my butt. And eventually, I got into like inline skating because it was just a lot easier. But I never really got good at that either.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of doing tricks. My favorite thing was just going down hills and coasting.
Yeah,
And I wish I wish longboarding got popular when I was going into skateboarding. Like I started seeing people longboard like 5 years after I gave up skateboarding.
right.
And I realized, oh damn, that's what I actually wanted to do was just longboard.
Yeah. Did you? So I guess you never got a longboard then, huh?
No, no. Like I was in college. I was already doing stuff, and it just like I just didn't want to make time for it. There was like no reason for me to do it. I don't want like I was traveling a lot to the gas station back and forth when I was a kid on my skateboard. But once you get a car and once you go doing that, like there's really no reason to skateboard unless like you really love the hobby.
Yeah, I remember when I was like 15, 16, I used to go sneak out to go see this girl, but she lived like, gosh, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 miles away or whatever. And I wasn't good enough at skateboarding to skate the whole way. So I would walk over there, and I would do this a lot, like very often. And I remember
Yeah, it's like a 90-minute walk.
and then I'd be walking, and I'd have to walk back, and by the time I walked back, it was like 6 in the morning or whatever. And I remember thinking to myself, when I get a car, I'm never walking anywhere ever again. It's like I'm putting in my time now. When I'm old enough to get a car, never again. Little did I know I was wrong. I was actually just walking in the hot sun the other day because I had the similar situation where you had to go pick up your car. I had to go pick up a car, and it was just like, but it's all good. It's fine. Like I enjoy walking now. It's just back then when you don't have a choice, it's like, ugh, crazy.
Yeah, no, I totally like, and for me, like, if I lived in a bigger city, I wouldn't want to walk anywhere. But the thing is, like, this town is only like 3 miles long.
Right.
Like, so
So you can walk pretty
walking a
much
mile,
anywhere.
yeah, yeah, you can walk it. You like it takes like an hour to get across the city, and then like just an hour to get back, and that's if you walk across the city. And then the where the car is at right now at Firestone, that is literally just a 15-minute walk.
Wait, so you live in the same town that you were like pretty much born and raised in?
Yeah.
Is that like how different is it now compared to then? Do you notice like some big changes?
Oh yeah, no, no, they're trying to change the town on purpose now.
L-
Like, because they want kids to stay here
Right.
because what was going on in this area was that a lot of old like politicians or like the senators and the mayor, the people who like ran everything in the city, they wanted everything to be super conservative and
Sure.
for like for the they wanted it to be a retirement town. So it was like impossible to even get like a restaurant. Like
Right.
that, yeah, like I think they fought hard in the mid 90s just to add Walmart here.
Okay.
Yeah, and no, like so it was a lot of like so they never really opened anything up. Everything was always like kind of boring. And it wasn't a place to like live. So that's one of the reasons why I left Wyoming for a while when I joined the army, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to get out and see the world. But now most of those people are dead, been replaced, and the people who are like in charge now are people who are like, no, we want our kids to like have a place to live, have a place to do stuff, and we want people to bring their family here. So so next to Main Street, they're closing like they're reconstructing the river and turning it into a river walk shopping slash nightlife district.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, that's perfect. And then they're adding like new bars, new like some nightclubs and everything. They're
Nice.
taking away some of the old fashioned areas and like making it new, just so that a lot of people are like wanting to live here. And then it's working too because a lot of people from like New York and California, a lot of Republicans are not wanting to be there anymore, so they're
Sure.
moving here.
Do you guys have a school nearby? Any colleges?
Yeah, yeah. There's a college. I graduated with a fine arts degree at that college,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, yeah. No, it's a good. It's just a 2 year community college, and then you just take that degree, and then you just go to like University of Wyoming or go to another place.
So, did you draw a lot as a kid, I guess?
Yeah, yeah. No, no. I what I did as a kid was martial arts, drawing, and then like playing video games, and then I was like physically active outside a lot.
You ever play any sports? Baseball, basketball, football?
Growing up in the first grade through fifth grade, I did soccer, hockey, like flag football, did all that stuff and everything. And
Hockey,
none of
that's
them interested.
hockey's a
What?
really involved sport for a kid because you got to get all the gear and it's like
Oh,
that's a hard sport.
yeah, yeah, but it was like at the YMCA and we had shoes on. They just gave us like a stick and the thing,
Oh, it
and
wasn't. Oh,
yeah.
y'all probably don't even have an ice rink out there, do you?
No, no, we
Oh,
do.
really?
It's the Eminem ice rink. So the dude who Forrest Mars, the son of the guy who created M&M's, lived here, and he put a lot of stuff and a lot of money into the city.
That's so
So a lot
random.
of stuff like yeah. So he ran the YMCA. No, like he donated a lot to the YMCA. So the YMCA here is really super nice, high tech, and like it's a big giant area for a lot of stuff to do. He donated a lot there, and then he built a M&M ice rink for people to do hockey or just ice rink,
That's
like
cool.
just skate. Yeah, so and then there's Scotty Skate Castle, which is just a roller rink.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff, and like I actually met Forrest Mars, but that wasn't like a good conversation. I talked shit to him.
Mars. So Mars was like the candy, right?
Yeah, Mars, M and M's.
Yeah. Sweet, man.
Yeah, yeah, but when I met him, I was working at an art shop, like an art frame gallery,
Hmm.
to like work on frames. And he came in because that was like the shop he went to like frame everything he owned. And so he came in, he was talking to the person, and he was like, "Hey, who's this person?" Pointing at me. And the lady's like, "Oh, that's Ken. He just started working here." And then he said, "Oh, why isn't he in the back scrubbing toilets?" So I
Why do you
turned
think he said
around.
that?
What?
Why do you think he said that?
Oh, I don't know, being dick. So I turned around and I was like, "Hi, who are you?" And he said, "Forest Mars." And the air compression machine in the back turned on, and I didn't hear his first name.
Okay.
So I said, "Hey, could you say that again?" And then he thought, "Oh, you could tell in his face. He thought I realized what his last name was, like Mars." So he said Mars, and I was like, "Ugh, okay, okay, what do you do?" And he said, "Oh, I make M and M's." So I replied back, "Oh, a factory job. That sucks." And he's like, "Yeah, it does. all right, well, I'm gonna get back to work, have fun. And then his like British wife came over and like whispered in his ears, and he's like, I want to go. And he's like, all right, I guess we'll go. Bye. And then he leaves, and then my boss is like, can you believe that guy's a billionaire? And I was like, oh, the jacket makes sense. Eminem's more. Oh, okay.
Right. That's
I
funny.
legit didn't know who the guy was. I literally thought, oh, this guy's just being a fucking asshole to me.
How old were you when that interaction happened?
I was 21.
Okay. You got to snark up at a billionaire for a second there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny.
Maybe chip at his ego a little bit. Be like, oh, factory job, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Like this is like one. He started it.
Right.
I was just doing my job. I was being a nice little boy. I'm just like putting frames together, la di da di da, and then like this billionaire comes in. And is like, who the fuck is this?
That's so random though that he would just come into a place and start trolling the people there. You know?
Yeah, I don't think he was like being harsh. I think he was just being like
Maybe
the
it was just like
dude.
a joke that didn't land.
Yeah, well, he's like old school humor. The dude was like 80 at the time. Like
Oh wow.
he died like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say he's probably not around these days.
Yeah, no, he died like 6 years ago, and so he's just an 80-year-old guy making like a like 1960s, 1970s type of joke, where it was like, oh, what's that young lad doing in the front working? He should be in the back working with his hands. So I'm
Right.
like, that's what I got. That's what I got. But also at the same time, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like a person that would suck to work for if they treat people like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, but I didn't work for him though.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, so you graduated high school, you went to your community college, you got a fine.
I did graduate high school.
You didn't graduate?
No, I dropped out. Uh, freshman, sophomore. I forgot what's 11th grade.
Junior?
Yeah, junior. I dropped out junior year because I was in advanced chemistry and I was sitting there and I remember looking at the college like transcripts or like what you need to do to graduate college, and I
Mhm.
literally thought I'm gonna have to do all of this again anyways.
Right.
So I got up and left high school, dropped out, and then I got my GED, and I went to college a year before my graduating class.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
so it's a good dropout story. It wasn't like, things were falling apart and you left. You were actually looking ahead and you saved yourself some time.
yeah. I literally was like, oh, this is redundant.
Yeah. I dropped out of high school as well, but not for the same reasons.
Oh yeah. No, I just didn't want to do the same thing twice in a row.
Right. Well, I mean, part of it was, it's similar reasons, but different. For me, I got held back a grade in 10th grade because I was pulled out of a school that I went to because I got in trouble. And then the school that they transferred me to had block scheduling. And because of that, I lost half of my credits for the year. So they made me retake 10th grade. And halfway through that, I was just like, this is too much. Like they're trying to put on an extra year. I'm doing all the same shit I did from last year. It was just, so I just stopped going and start.
Yeah, I hate when schools try to do that, where it's just like, they like they just don't understand like how other school systems work and it doesn't work with that, and like moving to another school is like punishing you even though it wasn't your choice.
Yeah, it was a bad situation for me, but I was glad to get out of there. I was always kind of a rebel, anyways, and to be able to have an excuse to just like stop going was like, I'm not doing another year of this bullshit. I've already been in the school system pretty much my entire life. I've got pretty good grades usually. Um, it's just too much. I saw the bullshit and I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm doing my own thing. The only downside is I spent like a year after that just playing World of Warcraft. So I didn't really do anything, you know?
Oh, I feel you.
It's a good year though. I had fun. It's back when World of
Yeah.
Warcraft was still like really fun to play.
I still look at World of Warcraft stuff and I have no idea what everyone's doing. And the thing is, I'm level 90 in Final Fantasy 14, and I still look at World of Warcraft stuff and I still have no idea what I'm looking at.
World of Warcraft has changed a lot over the years. I don't really like it anymore just because it's so focused on like
I'm talking about Classic WoW. When I'm looking at people play Classic WoW, I still don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know like how you guys know what attack is or how far everything needs to be at, or when you guys are doing raids. I'm like, I don't know
it's
like
a lot.
where you guys need to be or how it works or what signals the attack. Everything just looks like I don't know, like weirdly chaotic, but also weirdly stationary.
You have to spend a lot of time on it, especially if you're trying to do like raids and stuff, because then you need to get like add-on applications with like your hotkeys, and it's like a whole crazy like complicated thing. It takes hours and hours and hours, and I just don't have time for that stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, that's why I was like hesitant about Final Fantasy 14, but then I
Yeah, I
started
was about
playing
to
it.
ask how is FF14? Is it good?
I love it. Like it's fun. I only play for the story. I'm not one of those like I'm gonna do like the savage stuff or like any of the hardcore like in game because I'm not an in-game type of guy. But
Right.
going through the story, like going through all that stuff, it's really fun and engaging, and everything like makes sense because it's just oh hey, like half the ground will light up red. Leave the red area to not die, and I'm like, oh okay, that makes sense. Because
Mhm.
that's what I was talking about with like WoW, Classic WoW. It's like, how do you know what area you're gonna die in?
Right.
Like, yeah,
Um, yeah, I was checking out your Instagram page earlier, and I saw some like Final Fantasy VII art. Uh,
yeah.
Eric
And I got
and
some Final
Zach.
Fantasy 14 art.
Yeah, I was real
Yeah,
big
yeah. What do you think of
FF7
that?
and 8.
Like Zack and Aerith painting. What do you think of it?
Which one was that?
The Zack and Aerith painting.
I thought it was really cool. She has an interesting look on her face, almost like it almost looks like he's like leaning in for like a kiss or something, and that she feels like conflicted about it. Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, because she's wearing the dress that she's wearing. Like she wears at Walmart or a Wall Market with Cloud. And then in the background, I have it nightlife. So I tried doing like, oh, she's having a flashback of seeing Zach when she's like meeting up with Cloud.
Right. Yeah, I thought
So
it
she's
was really cool,
conflicted.
especially having Zach and Aerith. You don't see like a whole lot of that.
Yeah, yeah. So that's literally Wall Market, Aerith, like just having a flashback of Zach.
That's cool, man. I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love doing that stuff and everything. And then like the other stuff like I'm doing. Also like Jack, the voice actor and everything, I commissioned him to do a project for me. Like he's gonna voice over the comic book that I've been working on as a passion project. Just so that I can promote it. I actually have enough with that comic book, whereas for that web comic where I can actually show it to people and have it be like, oh, get them hooked.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You know, there's a really good friend of mine that collaborates on this channel quite often. He owns a comic book store down in Georgia. So if you're ever looking to get your art, out there, whatever, I'm sure we could arrange something.
Oh, yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah, no. We'll talk about that afterwards and everything,
Sure.
like networking stuff. I always feel like networking and whatever, doing that like on a podcast where you're just trying to talk to someone. I always feel like that's disingenuous.
Sure.
Because you're trying to get to know me, I'm trying to get to know you and like have a good time. And like I want to get to know you instead of being like, hey, how can I make money off of you? Fuck that, I don't want to do that.
Well, not necessarily make money, just kind of, I appreciate your art and he appreciates, good art and stuff. And I just thought it'd be kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I never like the comic book guys. You know that Kevin Smith show, like that reality show, Comic Book Man?
I'm not sure I've seen that.
Yeah, like it's these people who like work at the Kevin Smith comic book store. I guess I never actually watched it, but I have heard about it. And when I saw him at the convention, he saw my art and he really liked it. But the thing is, that guy just wanted to get drunk and laid the whole time. So like, I was like, okay, I don't need your approval. Like he literally was
Right.
just hitting on like, hey, where you guys gonna get fucked up at? I was like, okay, I'm gonna like
Yeah,
let this guy do it.
that's icky.
I was like, that's
So,
that's cringy.
so did you enjoy art school, the 2 years?
Yeah, yeah. I actually went for 3 years. But not because of that. Like, I just didn't want to overload myself. So instead of doing the instead of doing the 2 year program, I decided to take the credits that like some of the classes that you would need to like graduate, and I just pushed it like an extra year just so that like I can have free time so I can decompress instead of like always being busy or having like anxiety. I decided like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill. I'm here while I'm here, and I'm gonna enjoy my time here. I'm gonna paint, work on stuff, but I don't want to work on a 15-page essay and then like have to spend another 5 hours to work on like some math problems and then art project, and then I go to bed at 4 a.m. and I have class at 7 a.m. I
Oh
didn't want
man,
to do that. I wanted
no.
to go to bed at 9 and then wake up at like 6 and go to class.
Did you have to work through college, or how did you support yourself while you went through?
Oh, I got lucky enough to be poor enough to get FAFSA. So
Hmm.
Wyoming has the one of the lowest tuitions in the country. So it was like $4,000 a year for tuitions,
Oh
and then
wow.
and then with housing and residency, it is like 8,000 to 9,000 at the time.
Okay, but
This is back in
that
2008.
money. So, or was that all covered under fast fund?
It was all covered under FAFSA
Oh
and
wow.
some student loans. Like I only had like one student loan, FAFSA, and a scholarship, and that covered the whole 3 years.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, because it wasn't that expensive. It wasn't that expensive. It was like cheap area, so like it covered everything. I didn't have to worry that much.
Yeah, not having to worry about like supporting yourself financially while you're, trying to do school. Because that's why I never went to school, is because I've always been working pretty much full time ever since I was like, 17, 18. So
Yeah.
just the thought of going to school on top of that, it just seems like it always seemed like way too much, you know?
Yeah, that's why I tell people like just take your time. I know like the 2 year degree sounds like the gold standard of like when you should do. 2 years just means 2 years full time, no life.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, if you dedicate your life and only your life to this, you'll get it in like 2 years. But
Mm.
for everything else, I like if you work and you're making good money now and you just want a degree, just to have a degree to help you out later on, I would say one class or two classes at most a semester, and that way you don't get in debt. And then just inch by inch, like yeah, it might take you 4 or 5 years to get a 2 year degree, but you still got the degree and you're able to save money and you're not thousands of dollars in debt like the other people who decided like just to get front load college and then try to hope to get a job afterwards. You already have a job, you're doing everything good. You're like, for the people who have a good job and making good money and paying rent, you're actually already ahead of the people who are in college and
Right.
graduate college. like so you're good and stuff like that.
I think that's really sound advice that you just gave. It's like you don't have to like overload yourself. Like start small, see how it goes. If it's too much, dial it back. If it's not enough, take on more classes. Go at your own pace. I think that's a good philosophy.
Yeah, because I go by the philosophy of like people die at 80. Like if you get lucky, you die at 80 or you die at 100. But when you're 20, that means you still have six, no, like no, 18. You have like 62 years left to your life.
Hmm.
Like there is no rush because once you get because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted in my life. I actually have without bragging or whatever, because my dreams weren't like I want to be the most famous person. My dreams was like I want to be a successful artist, and I did that to a degree, but I never wanted to be a popular artist. I just wanted to be like, oh, I can sell my art, people want it, do all that stuff, and now I'm in a good spot. And then I also wanted to join the army, be a soldier, and then I wanted to travel the world. Then there was like small other things and stuff like that, and I've got accolades. I've won a pool champion. Like literally, I've done a lot of like amazing things
But you said you're
to
what kind of a champion?
pool.
Oh, pool. You play pool, like billiards.
Yeah, yeah, I'm an amateur pool champion.
Whoa.
But I got that when I was like 22.
I was about to say that
So
takes a lot of hours to get good at billiards, and people are super competitive in that sport.
yeah, especially in Wyoming, like it's the only thing a lot of people do here. But how I got good, my dad was a professional pool player, so he taught me how to play growing up. But
That
I never really
helps.
got into it. Yeah, yeah, and then what happened was like because I was always at the college and I would do my homework, do a lot of stuff, and then I would just be like, well, there's nothing else to do, so I would just go to the break room and play pool. And
Right.
so I would just play pool every single day for like 2 to 3 hours to relax from doing homework.
Right. That's a
And then after
that's something.
2 3 years of playing pool every single day for 2 to 3 hours,
It's
I
almost like
got
second
good.
nature at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah. I even got so bored that I learned how to play with my left hand.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I could switch like switch hands and stuff. But then I barely played when I won that tournament. I joined the army, and then I barely played. I would go out and casually play with people. Then people would not want to play with me because I would always win.
Right.
So people didn't want to play with me,
Sure.
and I didn't want to pay to play pool because the pool tables at the college were free. So I didn't want to do that.
Right.
So so my skills got crappier and crappier and crappier, and now I'm back at just above average. Like 22-year-old me could beat my ass now.
Right. Right. Maybe it's like one of those things use it or lose it, right?
No, it is because it's precision. Like it's a precision thing. So it's
And
just
probably a
like
lot of like muscle memory as well, I'd imagine.
yeah, a lot. Weird thing is, so I was 135 pounds before I joined the army,
Whoa.
and now when I started playing pool again last year, just with my cousin, like I was like 200 pounds,
Right. I mean,
and like
105, that's like a string bean.
what?
135 pounds, you're just a little string bean. I mean, that's like tiny.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was tiny. I was a tiny little guy. Like I lost weight recently. Lost 50 pounds in the last year because I got fat buff, and I didn't want to be fat buff. I just wanted to be like in shape. So so now I'm 170.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so now I'm 170, but when I was like fat buff and was trying to do a shot that like my muscle memory was still there, but my
Mhm.
strength level was new. So what I thought was a hard shot, I actually hit harder than I would.
Oh, because your physique changed.
Yeah, my physics changed. My arms got stronger, so my shots got stronger because but what I thought was the same shot, so it was messing with me. It was weird. Like I got buff, and that had to change how I played pool.
That's so funny. I've worried about that happening to me. I'm really into basketball, and
Yeah,
I like to shoot after work. Go up to the park and shoot hoops or whatever. And I'm also like trying to get in shape, trying to work out, condition myself a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit older, so I have to really step up taking care of myself. And that's something I guess it won't be a problem for me because I'm doing it every day, and I'm hoping that the change will be gradual enough that it won't
no,
be
it will be.
hot.
You won't notice it, and your body will adapt to it. But
Because I've
with
spent
me,
like hours just shooting free throws, and I've got that down. But if I were to get significantly stronger, it might actually make it harder because I'm gonna start like overshooting, and I'll have to like recalibrate.
oh, if you're exercising every day and then playing pool, no, playing basketball every single day, your body will adapt to it and you won't notice. So you won't notice. Nothing will change. Like it will change, but you won't. Your brain won't notice the
It's
change.
gonna be
It won't
gradual
even
enough
notice.
that.
Yeah, it will be. But with
But
pool, I stopped playing pool, and
right,
then I got buff, and it's been years, and then I came back to pool,
I guess
and
this.
then
I guess the same thing could happen is if I stopped playing basketball, but then started just working out, and then revisited basketball a year or two later, then it
yeah,
would.
then it'd be like, holy crap, I have to readjust everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what would happen.
so after you graduated or you got your degree, Did you go right into the army after that, or was there like a period in between?
No, I became a graphic designer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, became a graphic designer. That's where I sold most of my artwork and stuff. That most of the stuff, like I sold a bunch of stuff that was like 30K, 40K, and everything.
Like what kind of stuff?
Most of it was advertisements and billboards and stuff like that.
Oh,
So I would
cool.
sell things that were like 30 feet by 10 feet. And I made a bunch of stuff for like stage plays. I did a Miss Wyoming beauty pageant. I also did signs for like University of Florida, and then I also made stuff for Hawaii Air Force Base. So I did a lot. I did one of the flags there and created one of the flags that one of the Army bases used there for their company. And then a lot of the jets too have logos that I made that they put onto their jets.
That's really cool, man. How did you find these jobs? Like, how
Oh, I was working
did it
for
look?
a graphic design company that was also military based. So a lot of that's what came in, and then a lot of people would go in. And how I got that job too, I was late for my graphic design class in college, and I opened the door for someone. I stayed behind. Like someone was coming in, I stayed, and I was like, "Hey, no, man, I got you." And I opened the door for him, and he's like, "Thanks, man. Hey, you know what? I run the career center here. I got you. Let me help you out." He took me to class. And he's like, "Hey, he was helping me out, so please excuse his tardiness." Well, like, there's an excuse. The guy's like, "All right," and then he told me straight up, "It's like, hey, you're doing graphic design. I know someone who needs a graphic design person, so come see me later." I was like, "All right, I got you." So me being late for class, but also being courteous, got me that graphic design job.
Yeah, it's amazing how small, tiny little events completely change the course of your life in ways that you could like never imagine.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly.
Just holding the door for somebody, with
Yeah, no,
opportunity.
yeah, no, that's what I mean when I begin said like I became a successful artist, but then I left a good thing. Like I would have stayed there and worked, but I was like, I'm gonna go for my bachelor's degree and like then come back and work here during the summertime. Like and that was the goal. I haven't talked to them at the time about that happening. But I went up to Montana and went to like the Billings University to get my bachelor's degree in fine arts. But there was a scandal that happened, and a bunch of the people that got the scholarship to like go up there, they pulled that money back.
E-
Yeah, and so I was like, "What do you mean? Like this was all paid for, everything was good?" And like, "No, that money went back, everything that scholarship." So I had to drop out 2 weeks in going there.
Right.
Yeah, so I came back and I even went back to the job and told them what happened, and they're like, "Hey, we replaced you. Got someone. We hired someone and got someone ready to replace you. Like 2 weeks before you left because we knew this was going to happen. You gave us enough time to prepare,
Hmm.
but we also were only planning for you to come back next summer. So we literally like don't have room for you here anymore." So I said, "Oh man, geez, that fucking sucks."
Yeah.
So I worked at Kmart after that, and that's
Damn.
what I was talking. That's what I was talking about in class. I was selling stuff for like 30K, 40K, and I was like, "Wow, this is really amazing." 3 months later, I'm working at Kmart.
Right. The highs
Yeah,
and lows, you're riding them.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, man, this isn't sustainable. I'm not being able to do this. The graphic design job I made, like I did have secure. I gave that up because I thought it was good, but it wasn't my fault because this is one of those situations where it was a scandal. A lot of students got fucked over by this. I wasn't the only one, and
Yeah.
so I went to so I was like, screw it. I've always wanted to be in the army. So I went to the army recruiter, said, oh, and I walked in. And I was like, you guys don't need to make a deal. Just get me in there right away. So they're like, all right. So they sent me up to Salt Lake City for MEPS, which was funny because they screwed up with the plane ticket. So they flew me down to Dallas for a layover to go to Salt Lake City. Like so from Wyoming they flew me down to Denver, which could have just taken me straight to Salt Lake City, but they flew
Right.
me down to Dallas, then to Salt Lake City.
Okay. You said for MEPS? What is that?
That's MEPS.
What is that?
I forgot what it stands for, but that's where you go where they evaluate you to make sure you qualify.
So that's before basic?
Yeah, it's not even like before basic. It is like 6 months before basic. It
Okay.
is straight up like go there, you take the test, they make sure you're not doing drugs. They run you through all the paperwork to get you set up to go there.
And it takes
And
six
then you go,
months to get you to I didn't know it took that long.
it depends on the job that you sign up for. You sign in the army, you sign up for a job first, to then you join basic training.
What
And
job
if
did
go on.
I was just gonna ask what job did you sign up for?
I was a 25 uniform. I was a radio signal specialist.
What made you pick that?
It was one of the only ones available, and it was one of the more prestigious jobs. The 25 uniform is like a medic, the same level as a medic. You have to have a certain. Man, it's been so long that I forgot what everything's called. But like, you need a certain like GT score to get it, and it's like a GT score is like the SATs for the army.
So
So
so you have like basic medical training?
no, yeah. No, in the army they teach you basic first aid.
Right.
Like it's mandatory. You have to like be qualified in that. But medic is its own job. A medic actually has its own job. What I'm saying is like it's on the same level as a medic is because both of you just go out to the field and you wait for something to break and then you go and fix it.
Right.
One's humans, one's radios or computers. And but what's supposed to happen is no one's supposed to bother you. You're supposed to be exempt from like any guard duty or whatever. So just in case if something breaks, you can go and fix it immediately. So that's why it's like on the same level. But you're also supposed to know how radio frequencies work. You have to know. You have to learn binary code, which is optional. You won't really need that much. Like that's for like 20. That's for the computer guys. I was about to say army terms. That's for the computer guys, but you do learn computer stuff. Like the 25 uniform is a jack of all trades, technology specialist. So if your job is radios and radio transmissions, but if the unit doesn't have like any computer guys, any satellite guys, or anything that involves with communication, the 25 uniform is supposed to go there, fill the quota until the actual specialist of that job shows up.
Right.
So
You stayed
again,
pretty busy then.
yeah, you do, and also you don't like. There's highs and lows. It's one of those jobs where like there's a lot of downtime just because it's radios and you're waiting for something to break. So you go. But the reason why that job took like 6 months for me to get into the basic training was because that's when the next opening for it was.
Right.
But I qualified for it. They were looking for 25 uniforms at the time. Like the recruiter was a 25 uniform because recruiters, you don't become a recruiter in the army until you become a sergeant.
Okay.
And then they only pick the top 10% of sergeants in the army to become recruiters.
Interesting.
So you don't join the army as a recruiter. You
Right.
have to earn the job. So the recruiter was like, yeah, no, I'm a 25 uniform. That's what I do and everything. Like it's a cushy job. There's a lot of downtime. You do get busy, but it's like, and it's one of the only jobs you can become a warrant officer in.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like there's like you can only become a warrant officer as a medic, as a 25 uniform, and there's two other ways to become a warrant officer. I do not know those because I forgot. Because I got out in 2016, so I've been out of the army like longer than I've been in the army. So,
Right.
and everything I do now does not revolve around the army, so I forgot majority of it. I can give you gist, and I'm not one of those people who are like army fanatics. That when you get like a veteran gets out and they're arrested, developed like the high school quarterback, but with their army days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not one of those. Like
Right, right.
I moved on. Like I
Sure.
forget I was in the army a lot of the time now.
It sounds like a great opportunity, or it was a great opportunity for you to learn all sorts of like new skills and stuff that you can apply, you know, the rest of your life. I mean, that's really cool, and you're getting paid to do it, so it's almost like a free, paid for education continuation.
Yeah, no, no. Well, it also paid off like all my debt too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so I paid off like all the debt, like that because I said I had a loan in college. It wasn't that big of a loan. It was like $10,000 loan.
sure.
So like Army was like, yeah, we'll pay that off right here, right now. You're good. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you, boo. So, so I so I was in the army for like 4 years. I was in Korea for a year, then Oklahoma. I did time in El Paso, Texas, White Sands, and then Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Gordon, Georgia, and and that was about it. So I got to travel, see some stuff and everything. So
How
I
was
got to
Korea?
travel the world. Korea was a goddamn blast.
Yeah. What
Yeah, a lot of people go.
Korea? Where you in?
I was in. I was up near the DMV in Camp Casey, Korea.
Okay. And what made it so? What? Why was it so fun?
You ever partied with Koreans?
It's been a while. Not like a bunch of them.
Oh, dude,
Did they get down?
Koreans. You know how bars and nightclubs close at 2 a.m. here?
Mm-hmm.
They don't close in Korea. They party till 8 a.m. in the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they go
A
goddamn.
video of I think it was like some army people in Korea, and you had like the Korean army people, then you had the American army people, and they were doing like a dance off together, and that seemed like pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, that is cool.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
all like
no,
gathered in a circle, and they would have like one American guy would come out and he would like do a move, and then the Korean guy would come out and do his thing, and it just seemed like pretty chill. They're all like out there just having a good time, you know.
yeah, no, it was. Like, here's the thing: a lot of people get this confused about the army. They think it's like always basic training style, always getting yelled at, always everything. No, no, the first 6 months of the army, like because 4 months after basic training, depending on your job, is training. Like you go to a school and you're learning. Like you have to take tests, you have to pass, and it's very high schoolish at that point. It really is because a lot of people who are doing that just join the army, just get out of high school and go straight to the army.
Hmm.
So it's very high school like at that point, but it's just an illusion. They can yell at you and you're like you don't feel like a person. But once you get to your army unit, your actual unit, everything goes back to mostly civilian life to it's a 9 to 5, and you once 5 p.m. hits, you change, you get out of uniform, and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Nice.
Like
So you could like go off
yeah,
base and stuff.
yeah, no, all the goddamn time. Like you cannot go off base if you're in training. Like you're in TRADOC. There's they call it TRADOC and they call it real army. TRADOC is just when you get in the army and they're trying to teach you your job and teach you how to be a soldier, and that's where the drill sergeants are at. But once you get into real army, there's none of that. Like you show up at 6 p.m. No, 6 a.m. You exercise for an hour with your platoon, and then you leave at 7 a.m. after, like, you just do it for an hour most of the time. Then you have 2 hours to go home, eat, shower, chill with your wife, or hang out in the barracks, play video games, catch up on TV. And then at like 9, you go to work, and then you work until 5 p.m. most of the time, depending on what, like, if there's a mission that we need to get accomplished, and a mission needed accomplished just sometimes just means we need to clean all the vehicles, or we just need to do a layout and do like organization stuff. But you get out at 5, and then you go home. And most of us just went home, played video games, went off base, went to a restaurant, just went to go see your like girlfriend or whatever. And it was just like it's just normal human basic like 9 to 5.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good lifestyle. And I actually like the idea of like making the guys all get up early and, work out for an hour. I think that's a really good
Yeah,
way to start your day, get you going, get your energy up.
yeah, and it's not as bad. Like if you're like a fat piece of shit, like it's a hard time. You
Yeah,
can get fat in the army. You can get fat in the army.
right.
Yeah, because what happens is someone gets injured, like, and this is usually what happens. Someone gets injured, and all the exercise and all the stuff that they would do while they weren't injured, they're not doing, but they're still eating the same, so they're getting fat
Right.
from like, and then while they're fat, they no longer can do cardio, or the fat is so heavy on their joints it makes their leg injury come back, and then they go back on a profile, like, which means just you get an exemption from a doctor to keep you from doing any exercises. So they just like, hey, no running profile because my knees hurt. It literally is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, it's an Ouroboros, where a lot of people are like, I want to exercise and lose weight and not get kicked out of the army for being fat, but I'm injured and this thing says I cannot exercise. And if they catch me exercising while I have this piece of paper, they can punish me and give me 45 days of extra duty and no pay.
So injuries can really mess up your career or end it potentially.
Yeah, but it's your diet. Like, if you're just an injured person, you can have a permanent no run, but you still have to, like, yearly take a walking. Like, instead of a 2 mile run, you can take a walking profile test, and if you can walk 2 miles under 35 minutes, you're good to go.
Okay. That sounds fair. Reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. No, they do compromises. They do compromises. Like,
Did you
and
see
also,
anyone get kicked out?
it depends. Like, if you get kicked out for being fat, you just get kicked out of the army. You don't get anything out of it. But if you get like kicked, no. But if you aren't able to be a soldier from an injury, they just give you medical for the rest of your life. And they're like, oh, hey, we injured you, so we'll give you $2,000 for the rest of your life, like $2,000 a month for the rest of your life.
Interesting.
And then you can, and that's medical, and then you can apply for disability along with that. So like, there's people who got injured in the army, and they're making like 8K a month from just being injured, from getting VA disability, getting medical, and then also getting like SSA.
I mean, as it should be. I mean, if you're, serving and you get injured, you got to take care of your boys, right?
Yeah, no, but no, they do a good job. Like, I know a lot of soldiers complain and everything, but it also depends on the area. Like, the Houston VA is a shithole, like, where
Right.
they just but that's like big city areas where like a lot of people are just mean. The town I live in has a VA that not a lot of people go to, so the VA is able to take care of everyone. That's another
Right.
reason why I live here, is because the VA here can take care of you because there's not that very many like people here. So the waiting list isn't long. It doesn't like they can actually listen to you, and you're not another number here. But if you're like in Houston,
Hmm.
the VA there is like taking care of like 40 to 50,000 veterans, while the one here is only taking care of like 3,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. In
what?
Korea, were you able to get around okay? I mean, I'm assuming you don't speak Korean unless you pick some up while you're there.
한국 조금 알아요.
Okay. I'm not sure.
다른 거 몰라? 내가 제일 잘 알아.
So you got around.
나는 켄입니다. 잘 지내세요.
Okay. So I feel like I'm talking to a Korean now.
아, 어제 어디에요? 어제 있어요. No, like, would it be Ipo? Ipo, yeah, I don't know how to say beautiful women. Beautiful, like, I would go up to girls also and be like, no, the money Ipo, yo. Huh? Which is just, hey, you're very beautiful, you know?
I bet that impressed them a lot, having a
Yeah,
like an American being able to walk up and say that like pretty smoothly.
yeah, and they would always respond back in English too. So I never got a chance to like strengthen my ears. I can say stuff, but I can't understand stuff
Right.
because I would speak Korean to them, and they would respond back like, "Oh, very good. Yes, yes, yes. It's over there. Oh, take your right," because they want to practice their English with you. So it negates the fact. So it's pointless to learn Korean when you're in Korea because majority of people know English and they
Huh.
want to practice English.
That's interesting. It kind of reminds me. I went to Aruba earlier in the year, and they speak a language there. I don't even remember the name of the language, but it's like a different kind of Spanish. It's close to Spanish, but it's
Is it like Krell?
I don't remember what it was called, but I thought it was interesting that people, I guess they can just look at me and know that I'm, a tourist or a foreigner or whatever, because they would speak English to me. Um, it's just kind of interesting being in that. I'd never been in that position before, where I was in a country where I didn't speak the native language, but people were quick to be able to point it out. And it's Aruba; they get a lot of tourists there, so I thought
Hmm.
interesting experience.
No, I get you. No, no, no. I understand. Like the thing is just like people just wanted to just learn, like practice their English. That's it. They're like, oh hey, American English, what's up? Also, what's really funny was they were asking me where I'm from. I would say Wyoming, and then they would correct me and say Miami.
That's right. Yeah, I can't imagine too many people around the world know about Wyoming. If you're not
Yeah,
if you're not from the United States, I mean, you know, to know every state of a country that you don't live in is kind of asking a lot. My,
I was offended. We know about Korea, but how dare you not know all 50 states? Now stand there and salute me. I
well,
earned this.
do you know all the provinces or states or whatever they have in Korea? Could you name them?
You mean like Busan, Seoul? Like the province, it was actually broken up into four sections, and so like, and each one because you needed a pass. So the while I lived there, I did learn the sections, but Busan and Seoul were the only two you really need to know. And then the area that I was at was Uijeongbu, so I would go Uijeongbu, or if you no, like, or we were trained up in Mount Soyosan. So like I did learn the countries and learn the geographics there and stuff like that. So I did my duty, Korea. Now learn Wyoming.
Yeah, but we have 50 states. That's a lot more than four.
They're intelligent. They know English.
And what they're supposed to
I,
know all the provinces of Canada and Mexico, and
no one's supposed to know the province of Canada.
I know a couple of
Yeah, well, you just did extra. No one's supposed to know.
them. That, and I've been to Canada, so that helps.
Yeah,
Were
but
there
yeah,
any other
no.
cool places that you went to in the army? I mean, I know that you mentioned them, but were there any places that stood out for you, or where you had like a particularly, good or bad experience or time?
It just all depends. A lot of army was just like being in the field in the middle of nowhere, and then like I would uh I would just travel down in Texas and visit family that's in Texas because
Hmm.
I was in Fort Sill, so next to Oklahoma. But yeah, Dallas Fort Worth was just like 2 3 hours away.
Was it hard moving so much? Like, I imagine that once you're stationed somewhere, you probably make some friends and stuff in that area. Was it hard being like taken away from that, or were you usually just like ready to just go with the flow kind of thing?
I would really go for the flow. The flow. Most of the time, like no one really liked each other. Like
What?
it. Uh like army is weird. Office soldiers fucking hate each other. It's the field soldiers that love each other and will work with each other.
Hmm.
So like the soldiers that are in the office, they're in the office like 9 to 5, living a basic office life, and they're bored, and it gets competitive, and they like will backstab each other. The people in the field are in like are just doing basically like it'd be like a construction worker. Like you see construction workers becoming friendly with other construction workers
Sure.
because it sucks. Like it sucks. It's hard days of work, and being friendly with each other is the only way to get through it. So it's just like so you build a camaraderie. So those people will like have your back, and you'll miss those people. But most of the time, everyone just makes two, three friends, and then even then, most of the time, even if you go to another base, go to another place, you'll see that person again in like 6 months.
How's that?
Because most of the time, you stay with your MOS most of the time, or if you're or like I'm radios and everything, so the chances of me working with someone again is like a couple like just a year at most apart. Or or like I was with field artillery. I was a radio with field artillery, and they sent when I got left Korea, they sent me to Fort Sill, which is field artillery base.
Mhm.
And so all the people who were in Korea with, I saw about half of them again in Fort Sill.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's like our army's small. Our army's a small world. Like majority, like especially if like with your like unless you change your job completely, then and go to a new base with new things. Like, but most of the time, a field artillery guy is gonna know the same people in the same bases for the next 20 years.
Right.
No matter where you go, you're gonna see them again. So like you're like so it didn't feel lonely. But
I
I
love
didn't
that.
meet yeah, but but that's with your job. The people in basic training, I never met anyone from basic training again.
Hmm. Do you feel
Because most of them were like
about that
going as
or just
officers.
indifferent?
Oh no, they were all different jobs. That's what I meant. Once you go to your job,
All right.
everyone you meet there at your job, you'll see for like the next 20 years if you stay in the army.
But what I was
And
asking is, like, when you were in basic, because I imagine basic training is a really hard experience, right? I mean,
basic training was
putting it
fun.
lightly. Um,
Basic training
kind of
was
like going
fun.
through the
People, like,
shit
it's not as
together.
hard as people lie about basic training being like it was one of the hardest things. The people who say basic training is hard is only saying that to the girl at the bar so they can get laid.
You don't think it was that challenging?
No, shit was easy. It was just boring some days and we
Don't
walked
they
a
make you
lot.
don't you have to like run miles every day and do a bunch of pull-ups and push-ups and
Yeah, but I like to exercise. So that was I do that on the reg right now.
right? I guess
And
in
then
my
I'm
mind I
exercising
always thought it
also.
was like a really intense exercise regimen. Like part of like I always thought that I would have trouble keeping up in basic. Being just like a
No,
you think
no.
you think I would make it?
Yeah, everyone can make it basic training. It's super
Gosh,
fucking
I don't
easy.
know,
It's
man.
super
I'm
basic.
pushing 35 years old.
The cutoff limit for basic training to join the army, I think, is like 35, 36.
Mm, yeah.
But and there were people in basic training who were 33 to 35
And
that were in my unit.
they seem to be doing okay.
Yeah. Also, they changed how PT is. Okay, so for the 2 mile run, for an 18-year-old to 21-year-old, you have to do like the 2 mile run in like 14 minutes and like 30 seconds, and then but as a 30, but every 4 years they increase the time limit
Right.
by like 30 seconds to a minute. So like a 35-year-old needs to do 2 miles in like 18 minutes.
That's doable.
It's 100% doable,
Yeah.
and they build you up. A lot of people who join basic training never exercise a day in their life, so they just build you up. And exercise in basic training isn't that hard. And then there's rules on how long they can punish you with exercise, how much that you can do it,
Right.
and there's like safety hazards. There's so much stuff going on, and I did basic training in 2012, and it's 2023, so everything got easier. Our basic training only got easier since I left.
Nice. You know, you're kind
And,
of telling me on this whole army military lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And then another thing is just uh like people who joined the Air Force listen to my basic training stories, and it was like listening to war stories because it was easier in Air Force, Navy, and stuff like that. The only basic training that's harder is Marines because
Right.
Marines just want it to be hard. Like you're joining for the shit show, but Army's like, no, you're joining for a job. We know you're all here for the job, not the lifestyle.
Yeah, I've contemplated. I'm probably never going to do it because mostly because of my age now and also my career, and I'm doing what I'm doing. But if I were to enlist, Air Force would have been the one that I would have tried to do. I think they've even extended their age range. I think the cutoff was at like 34, but I think they've extended it to like 36 last time I.
Yeah, but Air Force is more strict, and also if you, they might have changed it. I don't know. It depends on how many people are willing to like join. But if you join the army, you cannot re-enlist to Air Force because that's the thing. You can military branches for re-enlistment. You're allowed to go to another branch of the military.
Mhm.
So some people who are who were in the Marines go over to Army, and
Right.
then some people who like were in the Army go over to Navy and stuff. But Air Force is the only one where if you were in the Army first, they do not allow you into the Air Force.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. They're pretentious assholes. It's prestigious. It's rich people not letting the trailer park people in.
Right.
That,
That's
that that's probably it.
my family was Air Force. I had an uncle that was in the Air Force. He was a career Air Force guy, and then he eventually went on to be a federal judge in D.C. And my grandfather was actually a navigator on the B-52 bombers back in World War II.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he flew like all sorts of like dangerous missions. Like I've actually seen like some of his mission logs and stuff, and he was running missions that had like a 70% survival rate, things like that. Um,
Oh, 70%? Oh, okay. They always skew those. Just like you know, they always
yeah,
skew
I'm
those.
just saying. I'm just regurgitating some of the stuff that has been told to me and that I've read, but interesting stuff.
Yeah. I did walk into a minefield in North Korea.
Why?
Oh, because I can't read Korean. Like at the time, I was still learning, so I still didn't learn like know what I was doing. If we were in the field, so you go into the DMZ, and the DMZ is a demilitarized zone, but it's still technically North Korea. So like if you go even far enough, you can see the fake city that they have. That the North Korea tries to like be like, hey, look how nice the city is. Do you want to defact? Like do you want to like betray your country and come over here and like join North Korea?
Were you
We
tempted?
promise. Look at this. No, man, that shit was just like, dude, that was like you look at that city and you're like, man, dude, I'm not as retarded as you guys. Go fuck yourself. I did see the city like from the top of the mountain, seeing that fake city, and we all kind of pointed and laughed.
Yeah, I was about to say,
But
was it like propped up with like like wooden 2x4s holding up everything, and just like a front?
it did. It just looked like a big movie set. You could tell
Right.
those buildings were empty. It was kind of like like your background screen, but imagine just like the corner with those three buildings.
Right.
Yeah, in the bottom, like your bottom left and everything,
Uh
was
huh.
those three buildings. Imagine just those three buildings, and that's it. And that's like, isn't this nice?
Wait, so how'd you
But
end up in a minefield, and how'd you get out?
oh no, it was easy. Like it wasn't like a big minefield. It was an old minefield from the old days. We were doing an exercise. We were trying to invade our own base. Like so, it was just it was just a wartime operation, like training exercise.
Right.
So I was leading a couple of soldiers to go around one of our like little camps, the little sections. Again, I forgot army terms. It's been like 7 years,
That's all good.
but yeah. So no, this is just for like military people who I'm saying that for the military people who are like might be watch this in the
Yeah, they're
future.
like
You're like,
pulling out their hair, like you're saying it wrong.
yeah, you're saying it wrong. It's like, dude, it's been 7 years and I moved on. That was just a part of my life. I don't give a shit about the military anymore. I love moments of it. And it's like I'm more Republican than Democratic, but I'm still like I don't give a shit. I'm done with that part.
Sure.
So I don't. So you never. It's like you never use that vocabulary. You lose it. So so I'm going. Going down. I'm just leading like three soldiers and look, we're walking through. I see a sign. I see and we walk by a fence that's surrounding. It's a forest area, and I stop and I see the fence around us, and I stopped and it's like, hey, what did that sign say? And they're like, warning minefield because one of the soldiers were Korean. And I was like, dude, why didn't you tell me? And he
Right?
said, yeah, I was like, and he said, you looked confident.
Oh no.
I was like ignorance is not
You're
confidence,
just gonna
man.
walk into a minefield following this guy, just assuming he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just couldn't read Korean, so I just walked past the sign
Wow.
that said warning minefield.
So did you guys have to did you go exactly out the way that you came in just to make sure?
We just went out. We
Just
just went
backtrack.
exactly out, back out and stuff like that, and then we then we did the rest of the mission stuff and like just
I have
invaded our
a,
own base.
I have a weird question about that. It says warning minefield in Korean. You would think that if you have a bunch of Americans over there doing operations, that you might want that in English as well, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of farmers that live there too.
What would that have to
Uh,
do with that though?
it's mainly for the farmers. Yeah, because when soldiers show up just to do operations, we just pick a random spot.
Or maybe you know how a street walking sign has like a picture of a person, crossing the street. Maybe like a picture.
I agree with that one. I 100% agree. It was just a Korean sign that said "Warning Minefield."
Yeah, just a picture of someone like getting blown up. It'd
Yeah,
be like, oh, maybe we should not go that way.
yeah, and it's mines from the Korean War too.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's old school mines like that they know are there, but they never were able to find.
Right. Scary.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it was funny. I laughed. We all laughed.
So coming out of the army, you did 4 years, is that right?
Yeah, I did 4 years, and
So
then what I did.
I'm sure they give you the opportunity to re-enlist.
Oh yeah, they said no.
Why?
Oh, because I joined the army specifically just so I can get the GI Bill and continue going to school for fine arts and focus on art.
Oh,
Like again, it was like army was just you only join the army for two reasons. It's either something you've always wanted to do, or you're fucked and you need an out.
right.
Yeah, and most people you talk to, they're like, "Yeah, it's my father did it. I want to do it and stuff like that." Or it's the people who are like, "I have kids and I need insurance."
Right. I mean,
And I was like, "Yeah,"
it sounds like a solid
and
career path.
no, it's good. Like
I
I
mean,
recommend army is not as army is only hard at the beginning, and basic training is not even that hard. It's just tedious.
so you accomplished what you wanted to do, and then you wanted to go back to school, did you?
I wanted to go back to. I was curious about getting my bachelor's degree at the University of Wyoming,
Mm-hmm.
but with how everything's going and stuff, I decided just to go for a year to get used to being a civilian again.
How'd that go?
It went pretty good. I did fencing. I made some friends and
Fencing, like
everything.
with the swords?
Yeah, they had a fencing club there, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm taking that.
Did you ever get poked, like where it hurt?
Oh, dude, it always hurt. It was
Really?
weird. Yeah, because they're jabbing you, so like it's like you take a screwdriver and like jab someone with it, and that's how much it hurts. Like
Yep.
it's always getting hurt every single time getting jabbed.
I guess
Because
that's a
someone's
good
like,
incentive to get better.
yeah, but also at the same time, like it doesn't hurt her. It was more like it's the same way of getting shot by like an airsoft gun. It just broke the skin.
Right.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's annoying. I'm gonna get you. No, you got me. I'm gonna get you. I got you. Ha ha. I'm the winner today.
That's hilarious. And you do judo too, right?
Yeah, I just started judo like 6 months ago, and then I started doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I've always kind of done Brazilian Jiu Jitsu like my whole life, like just basic wrestling, basic stuff, and then um like before the army, I was practicing like basic like wrestling and jujitsu stuff and everything. Just because I always done martial arts my whole life and I always trained a lot. And then when you join the military, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a big part of the army. So at like once a month there was always like combative training. So people were like, so I was always like getting like 2 days of the month learning Brazilian jiu-jitsu, practicing, and then in Korea, one of the uh, master sergeants there, yeah, one of the master sergeants who was in charge of combatives in Korea on weekends would teach Brazilian jiu-jitsu to soldiers for free, just
Yes.
like as a hobby. It was just a way for him to get to know people. So I did that for a while until someone broke my nose and I was too embarrassed to show up again.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
that was my fault. It wasn't Brazilian jiu-jitsu that broke my nose. It was just some guy who like the guy was notorious for punching people in the face while exercising.
Eek.
And like I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of the army, but yeah, I was one of the people he punched in the face. He was
Damn.
one you know that YouTuber that was uh was notorious for being like like touching gloves like for a light sparring match, and then he would go all out and punch the dude in the face, and then he would like say, "Yeah, I won. I have over 100 matches. I won over 100 fights."
Just by cheap shotting people?
Yeah, but so and he counted cheap shotting people as wins, and this is what happened with me. The dude did that to me, punched me in the face, broke my nose, and I was like, "All right, well, I'm going home." And so and then the guy like was like, "Yeah, I won a fight. I beat him up." And I was like, "You sure did, buddy. You
That's fucked
sure
up.
did."
Did you ever see that
Yeah,
movie, Million Dollar Baby with Clint Eastwood?
yeah, I was Hillary Swank, and his fist was the stool that broke my neck.
uh,
Yeah.
that movie breaks my heart.
Hold on. Let me respond to someone real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, take your time. I'm going to grab some more coffee. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. My friend was just being like, "Hey, I'm going on a dinner date with someone, and my sister is trying to get me to dress up a lot for it." And I was like, "Just look up the restaurant you're going to, and then dress up for the restaurant."
It's good advice.
Like if he's taking you to a Denny's, yeah, dress up in a wedding gown. Fuck it. But if he's taking you to a nice restaurant, IHOP loves that shit. So.
Have you seen the Denny's, what's it called? Like the Denny's All Star or whatever? It's like an old YouTube video where it's like the middle of the night and this like metal thrash band somehow set up a gig at a Denny's.
Hey, what the fuck is up, Denny's?
Yeah, that's right.
I love that shit.
Wish I could have been there.
Yeah, no. I apologize for that. This is a podcast. I shouldn't have done that, but it was just
Oh, no,
real
no.
quick.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all good. I just appreciate you being here. And I gotta say, Ken, I'm completely blown away by just how put together you seem to be. I mean, you seem uh, like you said, you've done everything that you wanted to do. It seems like things have really worked out in your life. Um,
There's a lot of hardship. There's a lot of stuff that like because this is just a casual thing. I don't feel like going too deep into anything and stuff like that. Because when I dropped out of high school, I did become homeless.
you didn't what?
I did become homeless. So I became homeless in high school.
Oh,
I
homeless.
didn't learn how to talk until I was 12. So if you're like taught here, this is actually a thing. Like I had a speech impediment until I was like 12. That prevented me from talking, actually like formulating words and being articulate.
Oh, wow.
And I have remnants from that. So the remnant is me randomly saying I can't hear it. I've said it so much, my brain is like triggers it like my nose or like how the body is with breathing or
I've not noticed
whatever.
that.
So what?
It's not something that I've noticed, really.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people have noticed it, but you'll probably notice it now. But I say randomly in the middle of sentences.
How did you, at 12 years old, how did you get to correcting your speech?
I had the school gave me speech therapy classes every single week. So every single week I would go in for speech therapy classes, and it just got to the point where I was able to finally be able to articulate myself to the point where they're like, "Oh, okay, this kid knows how to talk now. He's good." And I also like they also thought I was mentally handicapped because of it. So they had me take an IQ test when I was a kid
Hmm.
to see if they would need to put me into special needs classes. And like I scored around 120 for my IQ when I was 11.
That's pretty high, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's above average. Like it's just above average. 90 is the average. Uh, a 90 to 110 is average. 120 is like just above average.
Yeah, but for a
130.
child to get 120 is probably well above average, I would assume.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing
So you're
is, like
basically a genius, is what you're telling me.
yeah, yeah. I'm above average genius. Yeah, because genius is 135, so I'm 15 points away from from genius.
Nice. Well, that was also a test that you took many, many, many years ago. So if you retook it now, I'd imagine you'd score higher.
Yes and no. So how IQ tests actually work is they test you based on like a curve of how you are with compared to other people.
Right.
So if you're 120 out of 11, you'll most likely be 123 your whole life.
You think so?
Yeah, you can test. You can train yourself with like because a lot like English and research and study and get better. But a lot of the stuff that they teach you and everything is oh no they have you test for is a lot of just basic like how fast you study for something or how fast you like can put stuff together or repetition or how fast you can understand a pattern or whatever. So a lot of stuff is just like it's not even like and you can get an answer wrong and still get high on the IQ test. It's just how you answer it is what they test you for.
Interesting.
It's like yeah like so it's weird how they do that. So how I took the IQ test determines what your IQ test is compared to other people in general. The way I explained it was a little bit off, but the idea is still there. So I'm 120. So how it was when I was like 11 when I took it, um, like it should still be the same because it's like oh well, like this is how you study and how you solve the problems was in the general area of how people did it in the 120 area. That's how they do it.
Interesting.
So yeah, so people with like who are 90 with their IQ or like oh people who have a 90 IQ. That's how they usually solve this problem. How you solved it was how people in this region solved it. And that's how they test it.
I wonder what your score would be if you just kind of just like randomly just like did a speed run basically, where you didn't really think about it too much, just go pop, 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 pop. Like I wonder,
Yeah, yeah.
it would see you doing
That's
that, so you would
that's
wonder
it.
like,
That's one of the things they do in this IQ test. One is a speed test.
right. Well, I thought the whole thing was timed, right?
No, no, no. Some stuff isn't timed.
Okay.
Some stuff is, and some is just pattern recognition.
Right, because I remember taking one that was timed, and the problems were getting harder and harder and harder as they went.
Yeah.
God, that was frustrating getting towards the end there because I wanted to finish all the questions, but you have to think like how much time do I want to spend on this one trying to figure it out, you know? And it was really frustrating. I think I
Yeah.
forgot what my score was. I think it was like slightly above average, but I was pretty disappointed in myself, honestly.
Yeah, you're an intelligent guy. You're probably around my intelligence too. So it's just like you're probably like around 120, 125.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're an intelligent guy. Like yeah, no, no. Fuck. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Nah, fuck it. Oh yeah, no, no. And in the army, they have you take like a military IQ test in the army. It's called a GT score, and that depends what your job is.
Right.
And like so, if you score a little bit low and stuff like that, you won't be qualified for some jobs. And my GT score was 110, and that's actually really high. A lot of people die for that score because 110 is what you need to be qualified for like special forces, the bare minimum. So I make the bare minimum of intelligence to even like do like to join ranger or to like join some certain schools or to even do something like that. And a lot of people are like taking tests and they're studying and they're trying to learn and stuff like that. And they're raising their score from like 98 to 105 and they're still not making 110. And I just took a test and I was just naturally 110. But that's because I think I had a college degree, so I already studied a lot, so I already knew a lot of stuff. Like the medics, so like in my group, I usually had a higher GT score than my like the people in my radio platoons, like my radio company or my radio squad, like the unit that I was with. I had a higher score than them, but then I would go to the medic, and the lowest medic GT score was like 115. So all the medics had a higher score than me.
Right.
Yeah, because they have to learn all the medical stuff, and a lot of them actually like there's a lot of, like so a lot of medics are like highly educated.
I mean, that makes sense, you know, if you're
Yeah,
for that type of position. You want someone
yeah,
that's smart and
but yeah,
doing.
yeah, but 12-year-old learn how to be articulate, be able to speak good. So
Able to speak
so it's
good.
yeah.
I like that.
So I just decided to do that, and that also caused me because now that I'm able to talk a lot and articulate, I became fucking annoying and talk too much.
Ah, I don't think you talk too much. In fact,
Well, as a 15-year-old, I did. I'm
ah,
a 33-year-old man who calmed down. Who does who, like, but as a 15-year-old who wants attention, you know that kid was fucking annoying.
well, I spent the first 12 years not really talking much, so I guess you had a lot of pent up stuff to say.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of pent up stuff and everything. Mainly just geeky shit and being loud. But yeah, so I just did that, and then like I became homeless around 17, and then I got myself my GED, and then went to college, and then after the army, after the army, I just did a year at Laramie, at the University of Wyoming. I wasn't feeling it, and then I learned that most art jobs and most high clients, though you only need a bachelor's degree slash master's degree in art if you want to become a teacher.
Hmm.
Like everything else, you just need a good portfolio or show someone. So So well, like when I realized that after the army doing all that stuff, I literally like I started like skipping class, not giving a shit, not doing anything, and then I just moved back to Sheridan just because it was like good. And then I just spent the next couple of years after that uh, just chilling. Oh, my dog's dreaming.
Oh, they're so cute.
Uh, Barking.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So then I just spent the last 6 years of my life drawing mostly every single day and getting better at art and like catching myself up to how I was before the army, and now I'm better than I've ever been just because now all I do is just paint and draw, all that stuff, and then work on new techniques, practice everything, and then I just started traveling a lot more in the last year or two. Went down to Tampa, Florida to go see my friend. Went down to Las Vegas to compete in Evo. It was just like for Tekken, and then went down to Casper, and then I'm planning of like going up to see my buddy in California to go to the Catalina Islands. That he lives there. I can't
whoa,
wait to do that. Yeah, he lives on the Catalina Islands, and he offered like, "Yeah, you want to stay here for like a weekend, sleep on my couch?" I'm like, "Yes."
nice.
Catalina
That's really
wine
awesome.
mixer, can't fucking pass that up.
That's cool, man. So these days, ever since you came back from the army, you did a year of school. So have you just been doing like freelance art stuff, or have you done like
Yeah,
similar to what you did before, where you like worked for a company, or
freelance art stuff.
for? That's really impressive, man, that you've been able to do that for 6 years. Because I know how hard it can be for artists to get their stuff out there and to make a career of it. It's a challenge, right?
There was one year where I had to work at Walmart as an electronics for a full year because I was only making $1,000 a month off of art.
Right.
But then I got lucky and then made 50K off a thing, and then a couple months later made 23K, and then now I make off of art like 4K a month.
Nice. How do you find your clients?
They find me now,
How do they find
and
you usually? Like,
oh, just through Instagram. They just DM me, or I'll just post myself up,
you
or
get
I
a lot
just
of like word of mouth type stuff?
yeah. Yeah, that's really how it was. And then the advice that I gave Jack last time about going on Craigslist and looking for artists, that advice was viable. We just learned because I didn't do that for like 5 years. That's how I was actually getting a lot of clients. Was just going Craigslist and being like, "Hey, you want an artist? I can draw you, make you something. Hey, you want an artist? I can make you something." And
Yeah.
that's how I did it. But they got rid of that. They don't do that anymore. You can only post your paintings on Craigslist hoping for someone to buy it, but you can't post looking for artists anymore.
Huh.
Yeah, I just learned that this week. I didn't know that.
You
I
can't
didn't know
do
they
like
changed it.
a like under gigs category or something like that?
No, we check gigs.
Hmm.
Yeah, gigs is just like gigs is just for like computer software stuff, and then like music.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, yeah, and it made me feel bad because it was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, Jack, I gave you bad advice.
Oh, you told him to go on Craigslist and he's like, there's nothing on here, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened. So we both searched for it and stuff like that. But right now, from what I can say, if you need any advice, like this is 2023, just go to looking for artists on Reddit, or type down looking for artists on Facebook, or type down looking for artists on Twitter, and that's how you'll find a lot of stuff
Okay.
because people will still be like, "Hey, I need an artist for my Twitch stream to make this like all that stuff," and you just go down the list and you just start finding people and everything, and you just send them a message. So, but now, like I'm good to go. Just like I'm good to go, and I have uh passive income now. Just like residuals or whatever. But I'm doing good.
Nice, man. Dude,
Yeah.
Craigslist, I lived off of working on Craigslist for pretty much like the first half of my 20s, like from like 19 to like 25.
Yeah.
Just Craigslist gigs, man. Like construction. I did a lot of roofing, a lot of physical labor type stuff. But I also found like some barista work or just anything, just all sorts of just random stuff. In fact, what I do now is so I roast coffee for a living. So I've been doing barista stuff for like a long time. But what got me into that was a Craigslist ad for it was like a tea house, but they also did coffee. And it wasn't really
Yeah, no, that's cool.
yeah, it wasn't really something I was interested in doing, but I was desperate and I needed a job, and I kind of already had some of those skill sets. So I started working at this place, and it reignited my interest in like coffee and tea and stuff, and it completely changed the trajectory of my life. And now I have a career based off of a random Craigslist ad that I responded to like I don't know, like 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, again, it kind of goes back to how just like one little tiny event just changes, the course of your life.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then also back then, like Craigslist had looking for artists, like and looking for stuff. And then also Craigslist also had looking for women and looking for men and
Yeah, they
had the
took that
dating
off.
stuff. Yeah, they took that stuff off too. I think that part's funny, but I think people were just I think a lot of hookers were using that.
They were, and I think there was a law that was passed that made them a little bit more liable. So
Yeah.
rather than try to figure it out, they just cut it out entirely.
You know what? That's probably why they took out looking for artists, because a hooker could say she's an artist. Yeah.
I guess.
Looking for nude model to spend 30 minutes with.
Oh yeah, you could have people that are like creeps going on there.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So that's probably like one of the reasons why, like, because it makes it not, but that's an assumption. I'm just making a joke.
right.
It's a little
That
joke.
took me a second. I was like,
Yeah.
so, um,
Spe- Speaking of
moving
which, how are you
forward,
liking the class?
what was that?
How are you liking class?
The Sam sketch class?
Yeah, how are you liking that?
It's good. I had a really rough start. The first like couple weeks. I just went through a breakup with someone
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
for yeah for 3 years. So that ended like right when class started. Um, so the first like month was me going through that, figuring out my life. I had to find a new place to live, um,
Oh,
which is great. I mean, I love this place. It's awesome. Um,
yeah, you have a nice purple like cyberpunk skyline. I love it.
yeah, it's nice. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
I was just going through a lot, and it was really hard. I also switched to full time work, where I was just doing kind of part time stuff before, because all my bills went up, and I had to move and cover all the expenses and stuff. So now I'm working way more than I was. I had to reorganize and reset my life, which I'm still working on, and it was just like a really challenging period, and it was really hard for me to focus on like the SAM stuff. That, and I also had a scheduling thing where I missed, I think, the second class because I was confused
Um,
about when it was scheduled. So that was a bummer for me. So I
yeah, that was the one we had to
really
do
get
on
in my
Tuesday, right?
groove until like week 5.
Yeah.
But now that I'm
And
there, it's great. It's awesome. I don't feel as overwhelmed, and I really like talking to the other students. And
are you gonna take the advanced class, the production
oh yeah,
class?
I'm gonna try to take the production class. Um, it's it's
I talked to Jack about that, and I told him like I would join if Jack joins because I Jack is really wanting to get into artwork and get into that stuff, and like he knows more about animation than I do. Uh, like because he would get into, like I just work on paintings and drawings, so I never touched the animation stuff. So like making stuff and everything, and he can voice over it. So I was like, oh, we would like work together in that class, and that was like exciting and stuff like that. Having like a professional voice actor work like
oh, he's
dubbing
amazing.
over. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Production is like it's like my thing. I love video editing, audio editing. I haven't shot a bunch of physical stuff just because I don't have a bunch of equipment, so I don't have like proper cameras or lights or anything. But that's something that I've always been interested in. I interned for a little bit for a video production guy, and I really loved that. I used to go out and shoot like concerts and another thing that I really like to do, I mean, this is way back in the day when I had like a little camcorder that I could use, is I would go to a town that had like a decent like music scene, and I would just
Yeah.
walk around the streets and I would find people like playing on the streets and I would like film them. And I got some like really good footage, just randomly finding people on the streets, just jamming on corners and stuff. That's in towns like Asheville, North Carolina. You can find a lot of that. Also from the Atlanta area, and I remember going to downtown Marietta is a town just outside of Atlanta, and you could find some of that as well. So that was really cool. But yeah, production, that's really what I'm most interested in. The sketch writing or the sketch class, I wasn't particularly excited about. And it's not that I don't like sketch, I do, but it's just I like to write. I like to write as well, but my writings I like to do more like story based stuff. So a sketch for me, it's just hard to come up with an idea and try to portray that idea in such a limited amount of time, and then move on to something else.
Yeah, because
Mostly
you
just
want
did
to
it.
linger on it, build a world out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just me. But I've always loved the Whitest Kids. For those who don't know what we're talking about, we're taking a sketch course with Sam Brown from the Whitest Kids. Whitest Kids were a sketch comedy group from what, like the 2000s, early 2000s. They're amazing.
Late 2000s, late
Go check them
2000s.
out.
Yeah.
But
Wait, let me correct that. Late 2000s is in 2005 to 2010, not the late 2000s is in 2090.
right, not yet.
Yeah, yeah. For the people who are listening to this in 2099, I got you.
This is Eternal Echoes, so I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
might
yeah,
echo on for eternity. Who knows? It's
yeah, yeah.
like an interesting thing to do, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I pursued it. And,
It's fun. Like last class was fun. What do you think of my screaming sketch?
remind me which one that was.
The one where we screamed for 30 seconds
Oh, that
straight.
was the one where you had the family like
Yes.
sit on the glass, and they're like, "How's
Yeah,
your day?"
yeah. But I also was like, I'm glad you're part of my life. Like, just be really sentimental, but while also screaming while sitting on broken glass.
I thought that was great. I think the scene of them all sit like the family trying to sit down and have like a normal dinner while they're all like having their asses on fire because they're like getting torn up with like broken glass. Um, yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, yeah, and then Bodhi. Oh, I mean, like sorry, Bodhi, I just said your name. Sorry about doxing you. Bodhi fucking came out of nowhere with the genius mind game sketch of bringing up my sketch and then every little thing that happened, like for his sketch, like 5 minutes later, and like it was so genius and so smart. I fucking loved it, Bodhi. That was fucking genius.
Yeah, yeah, his sketch was interesting for sure.
Yeah,
I thought about doing something like that as well, where it's kind of like getting everyone in class to play themselves and just like, say fucked up shit or whatever. But I just felt bad like doing that. But I think he did it. I think he did a really good job with it. And I think what made it work is that he makes his character was the worst character out of all of us.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
it kind of balances it out. So he's not just making fun of everybody else. He's actually kind of making fun of himself. I mean, not a real version of himself, obviously, but I thought he did a really good job
No,
with that.
yeah, no, he made himself the antagonist.
So what made you want to do the sketch comedy class?
Oh, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to like tell my friends like I talked to Sam Brown in person and like I did it for bragging rights. And I did it so I can run one up every now and then. Like,
Nice.
what have you done? I worked with Sam Brown. Who? Exactly.
I mean, it is a great opportunity to work with somebody that's been in the industry for a really long time. Sam has done a fantastic job. He blows me away every week at his ability to just figure out like the flow of like what's like his suggestions for people are just like really top tier suggestions, and he comes up with it so quick too. Like someone finishes reading their sketch and then he immediately is like, okay, I like what you did here, I like what you did here, but maybe try like this here. And he just does such a great job with it. And for what he's doing and for who he is, he's really not charging that much money. Like it's
Oh no, no, this passes a goddamn steal.
yeah. um
No, it legitimately is a steal, and it's like a good class. Like I'll recommend other people after us, like who haven't listened, like anyone who listens to you and stuff like that. If Sam offers a class, take it. It's legitimate.
yeah.
But with like, and I was telling someone else earlier in the class, the girl in the class. I'm really I want to keep people's names anonymous. So the girl in the class, I was talking to her on Instagram, and she was really worried about trying to write a perfect sketch for class. And I told her straight up, A's don't get you time with the teacher. And teachers only remember the C students because they want to see the C students improve and get better. So
Right.
write a funny sketch with potential so Sam can spend time on it helping you improve. Because if you already have an A, you're already succeeding in the class, and there's no point to take the class.
Right. Yeah. And it's also like Sam was telling us last week, there is no perfect sketch. Everything can be improved upon. Um, so yeah. It's
Yeah, just yeah, just write the dick joke and giggle, and have Sam tell you how to make the dick harder.
what's next for you, man? What is your do you have any like let's start with like do you have any like short to mid-term goals in mind for like the next couple years, 1 to 5 years?
Yeah, now that I have artwork I can sell at one of the reasons why like I spent the last 6 years just working on artwork was so that I could just sell it at comic book conventions.
Hmm.
Yeah, so so right now, let me go. Actually, like I sell most of everything I have on Instagram. So boom.
Sweet. And
Uh,
I'll link your stuff on here too.
oh, you're good. 69 posts. I have 69 photos that I can now sell at art shows.
Nice.
Yeah, so 69 photos and everything that I can print, sell, and stuff like that. I'm gonna be working on more. My goal is to make 100 prints and stuff, like that's like attractive to sell. Like some beautiful women like wearing beautiful clothes that are like kind of graffiti. Maybe like some Spider-Man stuff or some more Dragon Ball Z, maybe like some Naruto stuff, so that and get that stuff up. Well, like for so that when I go to comic books locations, I can sell that stuff like in bundles
Is
and everything.
is there anything with like licensing as far as that goes? Like, can you sell Spider-Man paintings?
They do take a blind eye at comic cons.
Interesting.
I looked it up. Most of the time, if it's fan art and you're kind of just selling it like your own stuff, and you're not saying it's yours, technically, you can sell it, or you could just say, "Hey, this is Spider Guy,"
So,
and get
so,
and get.
so you're trying to get out to like more conventions and try to get more like physical pieces out there.
Yeah, because like it's been isolating working on all this artwork and stuff and everything. And most of the stuff I made was like original artwork, like stuff that was for me to show off like my skill. And like I already got to the level where I'm like, okay, good. I'm good now, where I can like focus on my comic book and then focus on like fan art stuff. And you can sell fan art stuff like they like because it's transformative enough because let's say that one behind me, I have Samurai Jack versus Aroni Kenshin.
Whoa. I can barely see that, but that is cool. I can see Jack there at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. So, well,
Wait, who
like,
who
and
is he
then
fighting?
Aroni Kenshin, Samurai X.
I'm not sure I know who that is.
Did you ever watch Toonami? The red haired sword guy with the X on his face?
Don't remember that.
Oh, okay. He's a popular character. He's got the
Okay,
reverse blade.
I must have just missed it.
Yeah. Oh, he's a badass one. And then I got like Spider-Man versus Venom, and then I got
Oh, I
Harley
saw
Quinn
that one
character.
that was on your Instagram where Spider-Man's like hitting him in the face.
Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. And then like here, I can pull off print. Excuse me.
Hey Ken, give me just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. If available.
Oh, sorry about that, man.
Nah, you're good.
Were you gonna show me
Okay.
another piece?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna show you those pieces. Like I
Oh,
made prints. So there's Jack, and then there's Ronnie Kitchen.
that's so
Sorry
cool.
for the yeah, and then uh Baby versus Vegeta. The Baby Vegeta versus Cooler.
That's so cool. I think I saw that one on your Insta. Are those? I assume all this is on your Instagram stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where
Like
who does your prints?
what?
Where do you get your stuff printed at?
Cat prints. Catprints.com.
Cat prints. You like them?
Yeah, I do. They make some good stuff. My only problem with cat prints is their art quality canvases get a little bit too dark. So, uh, so if you have like a dark piece, the art quality canvases will make it look darker.
Okay.
So, like, if you have dark blue, it will just look black.
Interesting.
So that's my only complaint. But besides that, they've been great. Everything's been high quality artwork. I literally give them like a 9.5 out of 10. Like it's literally just it's a mechanical ink issue with their printing machine, and that's something that you really can't fix.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I like your stuff. Most of your stuff is used and everything. Like the Dragon Ball Z one, I sold that one to Tom Arnold.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you mentioning that before. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was so weird. Well, like I yelled at Tom Arnold as he walked by and was like, "Hey, you want some artwork?" And he's like, "Is it porn?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "I guess I'll get my kids some." I think he complained about Roseanne for the next 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So it like, and then Jason Goldman doesn't fucking like me.
Jason Goldman?
Yeah, the guy from who starred in Dazed and Confused, and he was in Out Cold.
I'm looking him up because I don't know what he looks like off the top of my head. Jason Goldman. Huh, yeah, I'm not sure. So he's like an actor?
Yeah, he was in Dazed and Confused with Matthew McConaughey. He was actually the main character for Dazed and Confused, the shy 17-year-old who's trying to
Oh
like
yeah. Why does
yeah him. I think our personalities didn't clash, and I got him confused for his twin brother who's also in movies.
So did you just have like a bad first impression, I guess?
Yeah, bad first impression, and then he kept like avoiding me and like looking the other way, and I was just like, God damn it! Like, I even like when I told him like, Hey man, like I thought you were in Out Cold, but you were actually in Mallrats, but I loved Mallrats, and he was like, No, my brother was in Mallrats, I was in Out Cold. I was like, God damn it! And I threw my stuff down. I was just like, fucking a, fuck me, and I was just like, Well, I loved you in Out Cold. I used to watch it all the time when I was 10 years old. And he's like, 10 years old? Holy shit, I'm so fucking old. I'm like, I guess so, man. I guess so. But I loved it. And he's like, ugh, and he just like, he literally did. And he walked away, and I was like, okay, whatever, dick.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Plus, you never know, like, what kind of mood someone's in or whatever. Like,
He probably hated that movie because he was arrested and put in prison or jail. I think like for like drug trafficking with his twin brother like that year.
that's wild.
Yeah. And it's like so like that's why he didn't like he's not really in movies anymore because like he literally like trafficked drugs. So
Right.
so go fuck yourself. You and Forrest Mars. Go fuck you. Tom Arnold, you're cool.
Tom Arnold's cool, everybody.
Yeah, Tom Arnold, you were cool. You complained about Roseanne, but it was funny how you did it.
He plays or he buys Dragon Ball Z art for his kids. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, he didn't really know what Dragon Ball Z was, so we all talked about it. And then he was like, "Is Dragon Ball Z really that popular?" And I yelled at the vendor across from me, "Hey, show him how popular Dragon Ball Z is!" And the dude stepped out, lifted up his like pant leg to show his Dragon Ball Z tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
so you're trying to do like
yeah.
conventions, get your art out and stuff, and that's great. You seem like very work focused.
Kinda. I'm relaxed. I'm part-time work focused. Like I'll work on my artwork like 4 or 6 hours, and then I'll spend the rest of the day like exercising, relaxing, and chilling with my
Nice.
dogs. I rather just chill with my dogs. I literally like have almost always given up art just to chill with my dogs. I'm
They're
like,
so
yeah,
cute.
maybe I'm done. I've accomplished enough with art. I'll just cuddle with my dog.
How many dogs do you have? Is it just I think I saw two.
I just have two. I've had one for 7 years. I got Cammy. Her name is Cammy, and this one's named Ryu because I'm Ken, so I'm going with a Street Fighter theme.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've had Cammy for 6 years. Like no 7 years. I've had Cammy since 2016, and I got her when I got out of the army. And my mom got a dog like so two like went like 2 weeks after I got home. My mom's like, I got a new puppy, and I was like, oh god damn it, I'll probably have to take care of it. I don't want a dog or whatever. And then the puppy and I just bonded, and I will go homeless if I ever like have to choose between living in this house or living anywhere and giving up that dog. I will go homeless. Um,
That's beautiful.
yeah, no, like, and we went through so much. I had like she was able to stay with me so much because I had her registered as an emotional support dog through the VA.
Sweet.
So she was able to stay with me. But then I bought this house, and like I tried getting another dog, but that dog tried killing her. So I had to get rid of that dog. It sucks, but that dog just got jealous. It was a new dog getting used to it, and then the dog tried killing that dog, like Cammy, but I was able to save her, so she's afraid of big dogs now.
Oh,
It's been like a year or two since that. So after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a tiny dog because I work on artwork so much, and she's getting lethargic and like not really playing around doing stuff. So
right.
I got Ryu, who's a little Shih Tzu, and uh, and Ryu has been playing with Cammy so much that Cammy's lost weight. She's uh, more adventurous, wants to do more stuff. And Ryu's been part of the family, and little Ryu's in the same boat. I'd rather go homeless and live in my car with both of these dogs instead of like doing anything. They're helping out so much. They sleep next to me because I don't date much. I'm good with the ladies, but with Wyoming, I could show you a funny thing. Let me
Sure.
go on Tinder. Time to show women how misogynistic I am.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not gonna show, but I'm gonna you're gonna see my hand swat. Let me so people don't get doxxed. 1, 2, 3, out.
That's it.
That's it.
You have
That's
three to
all
choose
that,
from.
3 to choose from. And that's the dating life here in Wyoming.
What's the population of your town?
Population is 20,000 in the city, 10,000 around.
That's that's pretty good, I think. I mean, not huge.
Yeah,
Like the town I'm in
but
is I think we're at like 10,000.
10,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, so you understand like the dating pool is pretty small.
Yeah, well, I'm out of a long-term relationship, so I'm not really trying to get out there, but
No, I get you, and I'm not trying to like bring it, but I'm just saying for
no,
like
no, no,
social.
it's all good. I'm trying to just do me for a little bit, try to figure out I don't know.
Yeah, dudes who say I'm gonna do me, like and like figure myself out, can be single for 5 years without dating someone and be
That's
good.
what happened the last time. So I dated this girl for, we were together for 3 years, but prior to that, I was single for like, gosh, I don't know, like 5 years, like something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like the thing is, but you're not like, oh, I want to be dating someone, whatever. No, you're just at peace doing stuff, and then you meet someone, you're like, hey, yeah, I want to go on a date, and then something magical happens. But girls, like my friend who just got out of a relationship in June, and she's like, I just want to do me for a while, and then she's like, so I'm going on a date tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Girls last 2 months before they're like, okay, my time to figure myself out is over. I'll go on a date.
I
2 months,
mean,
guys can go the whole 50 years.
okay, so I did, I know I'm contradicting myself here, but I did go on a date the other day. I guess it was like a week ago or whatever, but it was weird. It was weird.
No, I get you.
Yeah, it was.
Well, even if nothing happened, just letting yourself be okay to move on from the breakup is all you need.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm okay moving on with the breakup or whatever. It's just hard to, I don't know. It's like I'm going through a phase right now where I just feel like constantly uncomfortable and like unsure of myself and the decisions that I'm making. Um,
Uh,
I feel kind of
I wouldn't feel-
lost right now as far as like what I want to do from here. Like I said, I'm 35, or I'll be 35, I think, in November, and do I want to eventually have a family, or do I want to go in a completely different direction? Like I really just don't know, and I'm still trying to figure. And I feel like I'm too old to be like trying to figure this shit out.
you remember what I said? We die at 90. Like you got enough time to like figure, like take it slow, move on.
Yeah,
And like Alan Rickman didn't become a great actor until he was 50 years old.
right. Yeah,
And that's the thing. And you might meet the love of your life at 65.
sure.
Like and that's the thing where it's just like just take it one time. Like you'll get what you like as long as you move an inch forward. Like the people who are like going top heavy, just sprinting, going as fast as they can, are getting burnt out at like 2 miles in, and then after like you taking your time going an inch at a time, after 5 years, you're already 10 miles ahead of them.
Right. That's kind of where I'm at right now is just taking it day by day. And
Mm.
my philosophy for my current state and what I'm trying to do is I just want to do, you know, at least one step forward in something in my life every single day. And it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a huge thing, but as long as I accomplish something that I can mark off the list, because the list is always growing. You're always adding stuff to the list of things that you have to do or want to do and all that stuff. So as long as I'm constantly, doing something, that could be, get my workout in for the day, or, accomplishing a short-term goal that I want to do. I'm just doing that like day by day by day by day. And if when I look at the longer term picture, I get really overwhelmed. But when I take it day by day, it's just doing the best you can with the time that you have.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's like no, I can appreciate that mindset, and like that's really all you can do. And that's why I'm like saying don't rush yourself. You just got out of a relationship.
Yeah.
You're trying to do stuff, but don't regret your decisions. Like because like if you regret your decisions, you'll start like just thinking about things you could have done differently. But no, you're like in a good position. You're talking to nice people. You're like talking to Sam, like getting Sam's input about to do class some more, and And then like you went on to that small date, didn't have to be anything, you still got out and stuff. And then you're like talking to people on podcasts, socializing and everything, having nice stuff. You're like keeping yourself from dwelling on your negativity, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, working on the projects, the class, the podcasts that I'm doing, staying busy helps a lot. I'm really excited. There's another podcast I do. It's called Betting on Balls, and it's like a sports betting kind of funny. We don't take it seriously. It's all in fun.
Ah,
NFL starts, I think, this next week, so I'm like super excited for that, getting that going. Um,
oh, that's what's up.
I think I'm gonna have Mike on actually from class because he's a big sports guy. I've been talking to him, so hopefully I'll be able to get him in. I think maybe tomorrow night because we're doing our fantasy draft tomorrow night. So if I can get him on, I think that could be really interesting because it's me and my buddy Tim, who's like a big NFL guy. I'm actually not a huge NFL guy. I've only gotten into it in the last like year or so, talking to Tim, and he's really into it, and he's gotten me into it. So I think having Tim, who's like really into it, and then also Mike, that's really into it, those two can like, I'm in my mind, I'm envisioning them being able to like bounce back and forth, and then I can act as maybe more of like a moderator that kind of like asks questions and like moves things forward and things like that. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I
Yeah,
like
betting
that.
on balls, man. It's a lot of fun. It's we did it last year. We followed the whole NFL season, and we had a really great time with it. And it was really good just hanging out with my buddy Tim as well because we live in different towns, different.
Oh,
So it's a great way to keep up with like my best friend, basically.
yeah.
Um,
I like it. What's up? But yeah, no, like if anything, but it's like 8:45 here, so it's probably like pretty late there. I think that's good enough for a podcast.
yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I actually had two more questions for you. Do you think you have time for two?
Fuck yeah.
The first one was I asked you about your short-term goals, but I wanted to follow up with
Oh, yeah. Let me. Another thing is Tekken 8 is about to come out, and I'm gonna start like competing more too. With
yes, sir,
Tekken.
what?
Competing,
Competing.
but like with Tekken, like the video game Tekken.
Yeah.
And Tekken 8 is coming out in January, and I played Tekken a lot, and I made like top 500 at Evo last year. And do you know what Evo is?
I'm not familiar, no.
It's a Super Bowl of fighting games. It's in Las Vegas. 10,000 people show up to compete.
Whoa.
Uh, yeah, yeah, like 2,000 people went to like compete in Tekken. I made like top 500,
So
which
you're trying to
means
like jump in like right when it comes out and get good at it quick and like try to.
yeah.
Dude,
No, no, I'm already good at it. No, I've been playing Tekken nonstop for like since 1995.
whoa.
Yeah. So and I played a lot in the arcades in Korea, and then all I did for like the last 5 years on my free time when I'm not drawing or whatever is play Tekken. So I'm just wanting to travel more to play Tekken with people. So it's like, yeah, I want to sell stuff at art conventions, but I mainly want to go and travel and like play some Tekken, some good ass Tekken.
Ken, I really admire how you are able to get good at so many things. Like you're a great, or at least you were at some point, a great pool player. You're a fantastic artist. You're really good at Tekken, apparently. It seems like you're the type of person that like you find something you like and you just like go for it. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm learning piano again. The reason why I
Nice,
say again because I learned piano in college, and I learned how to play Aerith's theme song.
nice. That's
Yeah, yeah, I did that in college, and then when I left college, I never touched the piano again, and I lost everything. And I was like, I want to get back to playing piano. So now I know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and know how to play like that again. It really was like I used to be able to be like this and like that, but that was like 1 year of me playing and learning how to play Aerith's theme. And then when you never touch a piano after that, you go back to I have to remember A B C D E F G. You lose all of it.
Right. Huh.
But but I'm relearning. I'm relearning. My goal, my long term goal is I want to get good at piano and play in a small orchestra or something on stage by 40.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, like I want to be like my 40s or 45s. I want to like I want to take a break from artwork in general and focus more on just doing music stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
I-
but still not quit art. Like not quit art, but like I want to do musical stuff.
Sure. And, I mean, and that's also something that is so far off that, by the time you're 40, who knows what you're going to be thinking or what your goals are. You could totally be still doing the same thing or be doing something like totally different. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and also another thing is I want to just go to the cafe. You know how piano's always randomly in a cafe. I just want
yeah.
to like go and just randomly play a song and then
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, your order's ready. All right, bye," and then just leave.
Nice. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right on, man. And the last question that I had for you, and I asked this to Tim on episode one, the last one. I feel like it's just a good ending question. Um, I wanted to ask you if you were to give advice to somebody who is like just coming out of high school, starting their life at the very beginning, out of childhood. Let's say this person has nothing, so they don't really have like a supportive family. They're kind of on their own, and they're put out into the world, and they've got to, figure it out. What would you tell that person if they came to you and they're like, "Hey, I'm coming out of school, and I'm kind of lost. I don't really have much direction. Do you have any advice for me?"
yeah. Let me think about that. You can edit this part out because that's a really important question, and let me think about it so I
Well,
can really think.
it is a challenging question because I think it depends on the person and their situation. So it is a challenging question, I think.
Don't try to run from responsibility and don't give in to bad habits because you're sad. So you're wanting to learn this, you want to do all this stuff, but you're in a bad situation, and then some people might come up and be like, "Oh, hey, want to sniff some cocaine in the girls' bathroom in between math class?" And you're like, "I'm a dude, so yeah, I want to be in the girls' bathroom sniffing cocaine. Just because that's cool doesn't mean you should do it." But like, but in a serious note, is literally just not even one day at a time, just realizing like having self control will get having self control and then being polite will get you further than people who give into their impulses and give into their emotions. So like that's a big thing where it's just like you might want to skip class to date Susie, and Susie might want to take you to a party, and you might get a chance to have sex with Susie, but Susie might want you to do meth to have sex with her. Say no. Choose the better choice of going to the class and being boring, and then because in 5 years you'll be in a better place with being able to accomplish goals in increments than Susie, who's still doing meth in the back of a trailer house, getting fired from Walmart.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. You could also apply that to like alcoholism. So like I personally have been in a situation where, I was down and, just depressed and just not, feeling like shit and, you drink, it makes you feel better, but it's just this cycle of like it makes you feel better for the night, but then the next day you feel like shit, and then you just spend your money on booze and just like, and then you become addicted, and then you're just spinning wheels. You're not practicing self control like you just said.
Yeah, like it is weird. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you're having a bad time, start focusing on trying to teach yourself self control and how to like have good habits even in bad times. Because the best thing to do is like because be the role model you wished you had when you were a kid.
I love that. That's really good. I wish somebody had told me this when I was that age.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like because if you think about like what would your role model do? Would he do this? The answer is no. Like, would Tommy from Power Rangers do this? Fuck no, he wouldn't. He would say, Kia, 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 huh? Don't do drugs. Kia, Kia, Kia. You got it. Huh.
I was when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Tommy because he was the new one, right? He started off, I think, as the Green Ranger, and he was a bad guy, and then they converted him, and he turned into the White Ranger, right?
Yeah, and he became the leader and the most responsible one. So
Yeah,
Tommy's actually a good example of that, of what you just said, of Tommy was in a bad place doing bad things, but he decided to become responsible and start working on self improvement every single day instead of self destruction. And that led him to be the most popular Power Ranger of all time in all history and being the number one superhero to many kids that inspired them to become better people in real life.
yeah. Tommy was awesome.
Yeah, so think about that. Like, what would your role model do? Because Tommy also went through that shit too. Like he went through a hard time and he didn't take drugs. He didn't get into alcohol. I'm not saying don't get high, don't whatever if you smoke pot. I'm not one of those people who are like, hey, don't do that. Like that there's a reason why I'm saying hard drugs. Don't do meth to fuck Susie.
Sure. Well, even
Yeah.
even weed though. I mean, like for me, throughout my 20s especially, I was just getting high all the time, drinking a bunch. Like it was just I could just kind of float it around, and I had a good time, and had some good experiences or whatever, but at the end of it, you don't really have anything to show for it, you know?
And, and that's okay. A lot of people think like you always have to have something to show, but I feel like that's such an extroverted, self-conscious way of looking at things because that's you trying to get other people to validate you. But
Well,
you
I
should
don't mean I
actually.
don't mean to show other
Oh no!
people. I mean like for
Oh no!
myself.
No! I was about to finish my sentence about
Oh,
that too. I wasn't. I was actually going to go into that where it's no because it becomes because you start self doubting yourself and degrading yourself because what do I have to show? And then you start thinking about oh well this person will have this person will have this already while I don't have this and you start comparing yourself to other people. But here's the thing about jealousy, because this goes along the lines with because like comparing yourself and thinking about whether or not like what have I gotten or I have nothing to show puts yourself in a form of jealousy. But the thing is, if you're jealous of someone, you should be jealous of everything about them, what they sacrificed to get there. For that, for the millionaire who has a private jet, think about the 90 hours he had to work at the office and how he doesn't know his kids.
right.
You have to be jealous of that if you want to be jealous of his rewards.
I guess for me is I look back at that time sometimes and think that I could have been improving myself. I could have been learning new things. Like you went to the army, like you went to school, you went to the army, like you learned all these skills. Like you made, I feel like, the best of your time to become like the person that you are today.
Yeah, I'm just naturally adventurous.
What was that?
I'm naturally adventurous.
Hey man, I think you're doing great. Whatever you're doing, I think envious isn't the right word, but I look up to you now, Ken. After this conversation, like this has been a very inspiring conversation for me. Um, this is going to help me out a lot personally. So thank you.
Wow, yeah, no, but yeah, no, like what I said, where is like, when you look back on your life and how like, oh, I had nothing to show for those 20 years, but the thing is, you realize you did have something to show. You got bored of that lifestyle. Well, like, so you shouldn't regret the fact that, oh, you did that. You just now know like, oh, that's boring. I'm not going to do that now because that's boring. But
Yeah,
what is actually exciting now is self improvement. You now see, because you can't appreciate heaven unless you went through hell.
that's true. That's true. And it's not that I consider that time wasted. I don't. I mean, it was a great time. But, and this goes back to exactly what you just said, is like me now, I'm into self improvement and all that stuff. And if I had a time machine and I can go back to when I was 18, I would do that. But there is no way that I would have had that perspective at 18 because I hadn't lived through what I've now lived through. So it took
Exactly.
to to be able to get that mindset for me personally. So that's just what it took, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, and that's something beautiful that you can take for yourself, and now you can actually like, let's say you have a kid, you actually know how to reach out to the kid now and actually be like, oh, help him with this answer, and you can be the role model to your kid when you have them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
and I think that was another great piece of advice that you just gave was imagine yourself as the role model that you wish that you could have had and apply that in your life to other people if you're in the position to do that. Um,
yeah.
I think that's a
And that works for the majority of people. Just but there's that 1% where it's just like, well, my role model was the bad guy.
right,
I want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
right. But
But
I think that's really cool, and
that's
I'm
a
going to try to
morally
implement
bankrupt
that
person from the
in
get
my
go.
life as well. Try to help people out more, and it's also good to realize that, especially if you are like I work with a lot of younger people, and
Yeah,
it's easy to forget that they're watching, like they're watching
yeah.
you and they're learning from you. And so if you come in and you're not at your best, that can reflect on other people and that can change them as well. Um, so I think being aware of your influence, I think, is pretty important as well.
Mhm.
Your
Yeah,
influence.
and I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate you reaching out doing this. And I want to let you know I am proud of you. Like you are working hard, and I know that you went through a breakup, and a breakup, like leaves an empty void. Being like, even if like you didn't do the breakup or they broke up with you, it makes you feel less like how you were because you're like you automatically having thoughts because like oh the sunken cost fallacy kicks in. But no, you're good enough. You're doing what you need to do, and you're already going through the steps you need to be a happier person. I'm not going to say a better person because I'm going to say a more content, fulfilled person. Uh, because it's just like it all depends on your mindset because like you probably weren't doing anything different than how you were like now versus how you were 3 months ago in your relationship. It's just that both of you just fell out of love with each other one way or another, and then you both decided to move on, and now there's an empty void. So along with that, like the only thing you can do is just fill that void with a positive reinforcement instead of self-destruction, and you're doing that, and you should be proud of the fact that you're making the correct choice now.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah, no, it's no problem. And also, by the way, long hair gang. I only cut my hair 6 months, like in January. My hair was down to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only cut it because I got fat buff, and fat buff doesn't look good with long hair.
I'd like to
So
see
I
you
was
with
like,
long hair. That seems. Do you have? Is your hair like wavy like mine, or is it straight?
I'll try to find something for you.
It looks like it'd maybe be a little bit wavy. You look like you have like some curls.
Uh, no, my hair got heavy, so it.
I'm torn, man. I want to like just shave my head, but I just haven't been able to bring my. I almost did the other day, but
Oh man, you're a handsome guy. I wouldn't worry about that.
I don't know.
I only did mine because you have a good jawline, so you look good with long hair. That's the thing. I got fat buff and lost my jawline, so like long hair accentuates the good features or the bad features on you, and so for me, it started just making my fat double chin more noticeable. So I wanted to like cut my hair and get rid of that, and then go back to the long hair.
How do you get fat buff? Were you just eating more?
Yeah, you eat uh like I was. So here's the thing: when you exercise a lot more than like you think, like when you exercise, your brain goes into like a thing where it's just like, oh, I can eat 1,000 more calories than I usually do.
Right.
Yeah, I can eat 1,000 more calories than I usually do because I'm exercising. No, when you exercise, you're actually like only burning like 150 calories.
Right.
So you can only eat 150 calories more. It's just like, so you're eating more and then you're gaining pounds of weight, and then if because the 1,000 calories, the extra 1,000 calories a day, like the 3,000, 4,000 calories, all these like athletes are doing, people forget that these people are exercising 4 hours in the morning and then 4 hours at night.
Right.
Yeah, so they have to burn that much. But when you exercise 1 hour a day or 1 hour like every 2 days, you only need to eat an extra 150 calories. So
Good to know.
like, yeah, so like look up how much you, well, like look up on like a calculator like how much you have to eat. Um, Here we go. Yeah. No, there's a better picture. I go, bam. There we go. Right there.
Do you miss having long hair?
Yes, I'm growing it back.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
You look like an elf from Lord of the Rings.
yeah. Well, maybe like a little bit more light. Yeah, that's better.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Like I miss my long hair and stuff like that and everything. Yeah, my hair. Like yeah, my hair was around the ear length.
Yeah, longer it looks like, or maybe about the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. You look good with
Well,
short hair
no,
too, though.
your hair's a little bit wavy. Your hair is a little bit wavy, so I think your hair is longer, but it
Yeah,
just
if I
bunches
stretch it
up.
out.
Yeah. Uh, but no, with the fat buff and everything and stuff like that, it literally was like when I move or sat, with the fat buff, I would be like this. I moved this side. So when I took pictures, I would lift my chin up and be like, try to hide it.
Right.
But I was 225 in that picture that I showed you. Like, it was like 225. Now I'm 170.
Good job.
Yeah. So now I can grow my hair out.
Well, for what it's worth, it looks good short too. So you're good either way, I think.
Yeah. I just prefer long hair. It makes me comfortable. I like doing that.
Sure.
I like doing. Yeah.
I
But
feel
yeah,
that.
long hair game. Don't cut your hair unless you really want to. Like I had an excuse where I was like, I don't look good with this at this weight.
For me, it's more about the hassle of all this just like getting tangled. You know,
Oh,
it's a
do you
lot.
brush it a lot?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta brush your hair once a day.
I don't even own a brush.
Oh, buy a brush, and then with how your hair is now, you take your hair and then you have to brush it from the end up.
Oh
So
man,
that because
that
if you
sounds like a
brush
lot of
right
work.
here, well, yeah, well, like the thing is, it's because you don't brush your hair, so it's like getting tangled. So if you start right here, you'll get stuck.
Right.
But if you grab your hair down here and start right here, boom, and work up, then if you do that every single day, and literally this is how fast brushing your hair would be every single day.
Right.
All right, I'm done. And then you move on.
What about a comb? Would that work? I think I have a comb.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, a comb would work.
or is a brush better?
A brush is better. Hold on, let me. I still have this brush. It's a detangler brush.
See, y'all, we're learning all sorts of stuff. Learning how to take care of our hair. Because I just got a big old tangled rat's nest up here.
Yeah, yeah. No, you want like.
Gotta brush that shit.
Yeah. What you want is one of these brushes. So these are one of these brushes that like it bends. But has,
Whoa. I've never seen
yeah.
like that before.
You can get them at Walmart. Like this is I got this one at Walmart. So when you brush it and stuff like that, like if it gets tangled, it moves with your hair.
What?
So it doesn't get stuck. So
Is there a name for that style of brush?
You could just like I forgot what it's called because I this is one of the brushes I've always used. But it's literally you go to Walmart and it's just always hanging up like that. It's just they all look like this.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's only like $3.
Shit. I got $3.
Yeah, yeah, it's only like $3. You just like you just brush it, you do all that stuff, and then if you want the ends to stop like tingling, like get like a small haircut just to like cut the ends,
Right.
and then you buy like some hair oil, like coconut oil, whatever, like coconut oil, and then you just put it on the end of your hair, and that will like stop having your hair get tangled and will stop getting in your way and your hair will look healthier.
Nice. I'm gonna.
Because you saw how my hair was, how it was like full and fluffy, and you're like, man, it looks like that. That's because I brushed it every day, and then I just took hair oil, and I just did that with it, and just a little bit of your thumb goes through the whole hair, and then like your hair is stays nice and healthy, and then it looks healthy and looks beautiful, and girls will actually like be like, damn, you got some nice hair, and girls will actually start getting jealous.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Ladies, watch
Yeah.
out.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I grew up with women. I got you.
Right on, man. Well, Ken, thank you so much for taking your time here. I'm gonna link your Instagram on here. Is there any other
Yeah.
platforms that you wanna put out there?
No, I just do. I just do Instagram. I just do Instagram. Like I tried doing Twitter, but I just always forgot to always post on Twitter, and Twitter's one of those places where it's just like you gotta post like 3 times a day. With Instagram, I could just post my art and then pay $50 to boost it and advertise it, and then I can move on with my life.
Whoa, that's smart, man.
Yeah,
You,
yeah,
so you can do graphic design, you do paintings, you do drawings, you do commission stuff. So if anyone has anything, like they can come to you and be like, "Hey, man, I really want like do you do oil painting at all?
I do digital oil.
Digital oil. So if someone's like, "I want an oil painting of like Goku, I don't know, like blowing up Majin Buu or something, or like I want Tommy, the White Power Ranger, like fighting." The Ninja Turtle. No, Power Rangers versus Ninja Turtles. That'd be a pretty good one, I think.
God, that'd be so fucking badass. Do it, please. I want that. Give me
Yeah.
that commission. Also, I'm a cheap artist too. Even though like I have high like good. I most of the time, like depending on the artist, if you just want something like small or whatever, I base it off of like how much you're actually making. So like if you're like, oh, if you work out Walmart or whatever, I realize how much you're making. So like a black and white drawing, I'd be like $50 because I still have to pay for the time. Or if it's like a color and everything, and it's like a small color, like 100, 150. But if you want something big, like that's like 12 by 18, I would have to charge like $200, $300. But something that's like tiny, that's like, oh hey, I just want this small little like 8 by 10 drawing of Michelangelo punching Tommy in the face. I'm like, I got you.
Yeah,
$50.
you could design like if someone wanted to have like postcards or something, like a custom made
Yeah,
postcard, like that'd be pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool. Hit me up. I got you.
Nice.
Yeah,
You got
I won't do the graphics, but I can make like the artwork for it.
You got something for
because I don't. Yeah, because I haven't used Adobe Illustrator in like 13 years because I've been painting. But if
me?
you want something that like looks good on like on a card, I can make you that. But you're gonna have to print the stuff on it for yourself.
Very cool, man. I'll probably hit you up at some point for something. I'm always
Yeah, no,
yeah, because like I said, I work for a cafe. I roast coffee and stuff. Actually, let me grab a bag real quick. I'll show you. So we had an artist do this one. His name's Craig Kozak, and it's a small image, but
oh, that's cool.
yes, my background's kind of messing it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Oh, ribbons are purple.
and he's got a little coffee twig in his thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and here's my business card. So like, it's one of my paintings.
Dude,
And then
I saw that painting on your Insta. That was on the flip side of that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. That was a painting of that. That's a self portrait of me in the army.
That one moved me.
Aw, thank you.
It's
The
beautiful.
only thing that I took out from that would actually be 100% accurate, it would be a Mountain Dew bottle next to me.
A Mountain Dew bottle.
Yeah, there was always a Mountain Dew bottle next to me in the army, but that would have taken the moment away. That
It
would have
really
took
would
the
have.
atmosphere. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm glad it moved me.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go again. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's no problem. I had fun. I'll see you in class on Wednesday, and for everyone else, uh, stay in contact with this guy. This is good shit. This is good shit. All right, bye.
All right, take care, man.
See ya. All right, so is that good?
Oh, that was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's no problem. Yeah, no, I'm glad. Thank you for having me. Like this stuff will probably be off the podcast, so I just want to let you know. Hey, thank you for having me on here. It was actually fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. That's really what this is about. I'm really wanting to learn from people, but do it in a way that's like kind of fun and interesting. And like I said earlier, like talking to everyone in class, it's just everyone just seems like so, you know, interesting. Everyone has their own backstory, and even this conversation has lifted me up because I've been in like a pretty dark place recently. So I feel like you gave me personally like a lot of really good advice, a lot of things to stew on. You know, you told me some good things that I will have like that will be circulating in my mind, you know, as I go to bed tonight and probably throughout the week. And
Yeah, I'm glad. No,
appreciate that.
and I mean it. Like that podcast wasn't just me for trying to be like put on a good podcast. I mean what I said. I really am proud of you.
Well, thanks, man. Well, I'm trying. I don't know.
You got it. So let's end it on a fist bump. We got it. Got it?
Oh,
Oh, so strong. You're so strong. Yeah. I have a good night, man. And by the
hey,
way, thank you. And I am proud of you. And I hope to see more.
hey, you too, man.
I'm following you on Instagram, right?
I think so. I'm not like super active on there, but I'm definitely following your stuff because I love your art. Like I said, that self portrait that you did excuse
Yeah.
me, today, and it just blew my
Let
mind.
me make sure. Yeah, I'm following you. Okay. I don't want to be an asshole and not follow you. Okay.
Nah,
Cool.
it's all good. I don't really. I'm not super active on there.
Yeah.
I'm,
Well, I could send you a print of that one. Like tell me the size you want, and I could just send you a print for free.
yeah, I'll pay you for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, like, I'll sell you the print for like $25.
Cool. Well, let me stew on that. Let me think about my dimensions and
Yeah.
stuff.
But no, I'm just saying that as in like because you want to pay for it. I will give it to you for free if you want. Because
I just feel
I
bad
have.
taking.
Oh,
You know, I don't just want something for free. Like,
oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying it's just like it'd be like a gift for having me on your podcast. Like you're doing me a favor.
I mean,
Stuff.
you are
Well,
the gift for being on my podcast. So you've already given your time. So we're good, man. But I'm kind of in a weird financial spot because, like I said, I had to move into a place and like I had to buy
Yeah, like I said,
and like
like
all
I
this
said,
stuff.
it's
But once I'm in a couple months from now, I'll probably be in a better position and I can start thinking about buying art and other things that I'm interested in. It's just
like I said, I was just gonna give it to you for free as a gift. I'll take it. I would take it. You're not insulting me. I would take it. Just give me your address and tell me what size you need. Like, just tell me like, oh, like like 8 by 12, just a small little thing I could put on my wall and stuff like that. I got you. Cause that's only like $10 to mail it to you. Make a print and stuff like that. That's like 10-15 bucks.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
I
just
guess
like,
the other
it won't be
thing with that is I love that one so much that I feel like I would want like a larger print because I don't see that being like this room that I'm in, for example, and most of the rooms in this place are like actually pretty big and spacious.
okay.
But like a little thing like that, you would have to like go up to it to even be able to see it.
Yeah.
So I could be
Okay.
interested in purchasing a larger one. I'm just not quite in that position today. But
Yeah. Well, how about this? Like in a month, uh, like hit me up. I'll give it to you for free, and then you can pay me back in 6 months.
nah, we're not gonna do that. In a month, I'll probably be good. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, hit me up in a month. I'll make a print for you.
yeah, man, we'll work it out.
Yeah. All right. Cool. See ya.
All right, pow.
All right, bye.
Well, that was awesome. That was Ken. Everyone, go buy his stuff, and we'll see y'all next time. I think tomorrow we're gonna be doing Jack Reeder, who is a voice artist. Super excited to see him, talk to him. Super interesting guy. Also, we got our betting on balls going with the NFL season, so we got it all going. It's all happening. Go buy Ken's art. Support an artist that's out there doing it, and I hope y'all took something from this.